Summary: Naruto is thrown back in time after being defeated, but this time Naruto gains the powers of the Rinnegan and has knowledge of the future. Now let's begin. In Land of Water, year 128 of the Konoha calendar, on an unnamed island 100 miles from the Land of Water. Deep within a cave, flickering candlelight cast dim, wavering shadows. On a stone bed lay an old man with graying white hair and a face etched with wrinkles. His life was nearing its end. If not for his emerald green eyes and the 3 whisker-like marks on his cheeks, no one would have believed that he was once Naruto Uzumaki, the 7th Hokage. His life had been a journey of rising from oppression to glory, only to end in desolation. At the age of 12, he graduated from the Ninja Academy as a genin of Konoha. At 16, he defeated pain and became the hero of Konoha. That same year, he fought in the 4th Great Ninja War, where he and Sasuke Uchiha joined forces to seal Kaguya, bringing peace to the ninja world. However, the calamities of the ninja world did not end with Kaguya's sealing. After that, Kinshiki, Momoshiki, Urashiki, Ishiki, one after another they ignited new conflicts. In the battle against Ishiki Otsutsuki, Naruto lost Kurama, and Sasuke lost his Rinnegan. With no other choice, they entrusted the future of the ninja world to the next generation, led by Boruto. Boruto did not disappoint. Through countless trials, he grew and surpassed his father at his peak, mastering the power of the Jugen and Momoshiki's Otsutsuki abilities. He resolved numerous crises and ushered in a new era of prosperity for the ninja world. But that prosperity was reduced to ashes with the arrival of Shinjiki Otsutsuki. Shinjiki possessed overwhelming power, far surpassing even Kaguya's. In the decisive battle, the entire ninja world united to resist him, but the outcome was devastating. Friends, his wife, children, comrades, all perished in battle. Their dying cries echoed in Naruto's mind during countless sleepless nights, tormenting his soul. Naruto, our strength? It's useless. Naruto-kun, please live on. Forgive me for not being able to stay by your side. Father, I've done my best. 7th Hokage-sama, please retreat quickly. You are our last hope. In the end, an exhausted Naruto was sent away by the hidden cloud using a secret technique. When he awoke, the enemy had left, leaving behind a scorched and barren land. Naruto knelt and wept until his tears ran dry. He began a life of exile. He wanted to do something, but in his twilight years he was powerless. And so he lived on, aimlessly, until now when his life was about to end. Beside the candle stood an ancient-looking turtle artifact. It was a time-traveling tool of the Otsutsuki clan called Rei, brought by Urashiki and later passed into Naruto's hands. But Rei was broken, could no longer traverse time or even speak. In his lonely old age, Rei had become Naruto's only confidant. Hey, you know what, turtle? My greatest mistake in life was underestimating the power of that clan. Through his battles with the Otsutsuki, Naruto had uncovered a harsh truth. Far beyond the ninja world, in the distant reaches of space, there was a planet called Takamagara, the birthplace of the Otsutsuki clan. On Takamagara, beings far stronger than Kaguya were as common as stars in the sky. Back then, we worked together to seal Kaguya and later defeated Momoshiki. I naively thought that was the extent of their power. I was so foolish to believe that unity alone could overcome those extraterrestrial beings. From the very beginning, we humans were at a disadvantage. The truth is, the Sage of Six Paths path was not entirely correct. Everything Kaguya feared has come true. In the end, we were too short-sighted. Cough, cough, cough. Naruto coughed heavily, his vision growing blurrier. The candlelight flickered, on the verge of extinguishing. Time was running out. At that moment, Rei, dormant for years, suddenly spoke. If you could do it all over again, would you seek revenge against them? Naruto thought it was a hallucination brought on by his impending death and paid it no mind. His gaze was calm, his voice weary. Revenge only breeds a chain of hatred. I wouldn't walk that path. But if I could truly start over, I would do whatever it takes to gain the power to rival those beings. Only then could I truly protect the people most important to me. Rei fell silent for a moment. Whatever it takes. That doesn't sound like something you would say. Naruto's eyes slowly closed, a faint, sorrowful smile on his lips. The naive, idealistic Naruto Uzumaki died the day my home and family were destroyed. Rei was quiet for a long time before saying, perhaps, I can grant your wish. Naruto murmured, you can send me back in time? Rei replied, I can transfer your soul, but it's a one-way trip. You'll never be able to return. Even so, are you willing? Naruto smiled. Why would I want to return to a world where no one is left? Ray said, then extend your hand. With the last of his strength, Naruto reached out with a trembling hand. Whoosh! The final remnants of his chakra were absorbed by Ray. Buzz! The artifact activated. Naruto's soul left his body, flowing back through the river of time. Whoosh! The candlelight extinguished. The Naruto of this timeline closed his eyes forever. Crack! Crack! Cracks spread across Ray's surface, signaling its imminent destruction. I have witnessed countless Naruto Uzumakis across time. If anyone can stop the atrocities of that clan, it is you. Rise again. In a timeline neither too early nor too late, Nagato and Naruto's conversation in the present. Naruto felt his consciousness sinking within a tunnel. When he opened his eyes again, he was in a gray, sealed space. In his hands was a book, Tales of a Gutsy Ninja by Jiraiya. In front of him, within a mechanical walker, sat a frail Nagato, with Konan standing by his side. What was going on? Was this a dream? Naruto pinched his leg hard. The pain jolted him awake. This was no dream. Nagato spoke in a sorrowful tone. Change the protagonist, and it becomes a different story. I am your senior, a fellow disciple of the same master. I once said we should be able to understand each other, although that was originally just a joke. You truly are an extraordinary person. You remind me of my former self. Konan's tone shifted as she sensed something unusual. Nagato, I couldn't trust Jiraiya. No, I couldn't even trust myself, but I have a feeling that the paths we walk will lead to different futures. I will try to believe in you, Naruto Uzumaki. With those words, Nagato withdrew his hands from the viscous bindings and formed a shocking hand seal. Outer path. Samsara of heavenly life technique. Konan gasped. Nagato. You. Nagato declared resolutely, Konan, that's enough. I've made a new choice. A choice I once abandoned. Naruto suddenly snapped back to reality. This is... Konan, thinking Naruto was questioning the jutsu, explained, those who possess the Rinnegan can not only control the 6 paths of pain but are also said to transcend the cycle of life and death. Nagato's ocular power allows him to wield the technique of life and death, the 7th path of pain. Naruto clenched his fists. He realized that the voice he heard before his death was not an illusion but Ray's words. I'm back. I've truly returned. My soul has traveled back to the moment after defeating pain, during my negotiation with Nagato. His heart raced with excitement, his trembling hands unable to find a place to rest. The cover of the book in his hands was soaked with sweat. The Naruto standing here was still Naruto, but his soul was the Naruto from the future. Konan, of course, had no way of knowing this. She watched Nagato with concern. Using this jutsu with his current chakra would soon. No, Konan and Naruto's conversation. Naruto's outrageous words made Konan doubt her ears. Say that again. What do you want to inherit? But Naruto repeated himself firmly. I want to inherit Nagato's Rinnegan. I didn't mishear him after all. Konan's gaze darkened as she reevaluated Naruto. The impression he had left on her was not that of someone who would say such things. Even so, she maintained her composure. Naruto, Nagato entrusted his will to you, but his will does not equate to his eyes. Naruto explained persuasively. Nagato is gone, but the power of the Rinnegan should not be buried with him. Moreover, there are others who covet these eyes. If they fall into the wrong hands, it will bring catastrophic consequences to the ninja world. All things considered, entrusting them to me is the safest option. The person he's referring to is Madara. He knows about Madara. He's not the simple-minded child Nagato and I once knew. Konan's expression turned 3 shades colder. The Rinnegan was awakened by Nagato of Amigakure. His eyes are a treasure of this nation, of this village. Naruto, even if it's your request, I cannot agree. Please don't ask for something so unreasonable. Nagato has already revived the Shinobi of Konoha. I will leave Akatsuki today and will not act against Konoha anymore. Now, I'm taking Nagato and the Deva paths remains back to Amigakure. I see. Naruto slowly closed his eyes. From the beginning of their conversation, he had been absorbing natural energy. By now, he had gathered enough. ZZZ. Orange pigmentation and toad-like horizontal pupils appeared on his face. Activated. Naruto opened his eyes and said in a deep voice, Sister Konan, you misunderstand. This isn't a request. It's a demand. Swish. In sage mode, Naruto moved with blinding speed, appearing in front of Konan in an instant. With precise control of his strength, he delivered a single punch to her abdomen. Thud. Ugh. Conan's orange eyes widened in shock as her body collapsed, powerless. Naruto withdrew his fist and looked down at the fallen Conan, murmuring, "I'm sorry, Sister Conan." To avoid unnecessary conflict, this was the quickest way. "I'll explain everything to you later." He then turned his gaze toward the direction of Konoha, his eyes filled with an uncontrollable longing. Everything he once lost was just a step away, waiting for him to reclaim it. However, what he planned to do from now on would go against the will of fire that Konoha upheld. Even if he were to explain everything to everyone, would they believe him? That would be far too absurd. Even Naruto himself wouldn't believe it if the roles were reversed. He retracted his gaze and forcibly suppressed the yearning in his heart. "I'm sorry, everyone. I love this village, and I love all of you. That's why, until the time is right, let me bear this burden alone." In Konoha, that day, the villagers of Konoha, waiting at the gates, did not welcome their hero home. The search party sent out by Konoha found only a copy of Tales of a Gutsy Ninja with finger-shaped indentations on its cover, and a Konoha forehead protector engraved with the mark of a rogue ninja, left behind at the location where Nagato had been hiding. At this moment, in Konoha, the 5th Hokage Tsunade had fallen into a deep coma due to overusing her strength of 100 seal chakra. A group of elite jonin, led by Shikaku Nara, convened an emergency meeting. Shikaku began, "Previously, we encountered Naruto on the mountain. He said he would settle things with the enemy and asked us to entrust the negotiations to him." As he spoke, Shikaku glanced at Kakashi, who had been revived and was now staring blankly at the Tales of a Gutsy Ninja brought back by the search team. Retracting his gaze, Shikaku continued, "Afterward, the people who had died in the village were resurrected. This indicates that Naruto's negotiations were undoubtedly successful. However, he suddenly killed Lady Katsuyu's clone and left behind this book and forehead protector. What happened during that time remains a mystery to us." Shikaku paused briefly before continuing, "Based on my analysis, there are two possibilities. First, Naruto was manipulated by some technique of the enemy and acted against his will. Second, Naruto had something else he wanted to discuss with the enemy, and it was something he didn't want us to know about." He hesitated before concluding, "As for the items Naruto left behind, if I set aside my personal feelings, the most straightforward interpretation is that Naruto has abandoned the path of the ninja he inherited from Jiraiya and has resolved to become a rogue ninja of Konoha." Hiss! The jonin present collectively gasped. That Naruto, the Naruto who was unyielding and steadfast in his ninja way, he had betrayed the village? At this moment, Kakashi spoke up. "Naruto is my student. Based on my many years of understanding him, he would never betray the village. I am more inclined to believe that Naruto acted with his own reasons and burdens." He held up the book's cover for everyone to see. Shikaku sighed lightly and said solemnly, "Until we uncover the truth, we cannot jump to conclusions. What is undeniable is that Naruto defeated Pain and Nagato and saved the village. That is an indisputable fact. I propose that we temporarily conceal Naruto's departure from the public and announce that he is resting due to exhaustion from battle." The Hyuga clan agrees. The Yamanaka clan agrees. The Aburame clan has no objections. One by one, the clan leaders voiced their approval. One by one, the clan leaders voiced their approval. Shikaku nodded and said, "However, concealment is not a long-term solution. The ANBU must expand their search efforts and locate Naruto as soon as possible." He continued, "In addition, the village has just experienced a massive calamity. The most important thing now is to stabilize morale. With the 5th Hokage in a coma and Naruto's situation uncertain, the village cannot be without a Hokage. I nominate Hatake Kakashi to become the 6th Hokage." Kakashi placed the book on the table and said seriously, "I'm ready for this responsibility." Rustle, rustle, rustle. In the forest beyond the ruins of Konoha, Black Zetsu and White Zetsu emerged from a tree trunk. White Zetsu said, "I never imagined Pain could be defeated, and that brat Naruto Uzumaki even took Nagato's body. This is insane." Black Zetsu replied, "Go and report this to Toby immediately." Somewhere in the Land of Fire. Within the borders of the Land of Fire, in a dark cave, Naruto sat on a stone chair, his left eye wrapped in bandages. Resting his chin on one hand, he gazed at the flickering candlelight, lost in thought. "You're awake." He glanced out of the corner of his eye at Conan, who was tied up in the corner. Conan struggled against the ropes but couldn't break free. Naruto said, "For the sake of a proper conversation, I've tied you up. Additionally, to prevent you from turning into paper and escaping, I've sealed your chakra, His deep tone was completely unlike that of a 16-year-old boy. The stark contrast in his demeanor left Conan with only one conclusion. Naruto Uzumaki, your acting skills are truly remarkable. Both Nagato and I were deceived by you. Naruto responded with a faint, ambiguous smile. Conan demanded, what did you do with Nagato's body? You've already taken his Rinnegan. Your goal has been achieved. If you don't intend to kill me, return his body to me so I can take it back to Amigakure. The Rinnegan, huh? Naruto slowly turned around. It seems I need to adjust the order of my explanation. First of all, the Rinnegan wasn't awakened by Nagato of Amigakure. The true owner of these eyes is the ancestor of Konoha's Uchiha clan, Uchiha Madara. The one who awakened the Rinnegan wasn't Nagato, it was Madara Uchiha. That's impossible. Conan's beliefs were utterly shattered, leaving her unable to accept this revelation. Naruto added to the blow, oh, and the Madara I'm talking about isn't the masked man in Akatsuki. He only claimed to be Madara to deceive you all. Conan's voice was filled with despair. One claims to be Madara, and now you're telling me there's another Madara? Both of you are liars. I don't believe anyone. This is a bit tricky, Naruto muttered, falling into deep thought. His left hand unconsciously tapped on the table. It's worth mentioning that Naruto had lost his right arm during his battle with Sasuke in his previous life. Although he now used a prosthetic arm, he had developed the habit of relying on his left hand, becoming a lefty by necessity. This habit persisted even after his soul traveled back through time. Naruto rummaged through his memories, trying to find information that could convince Conan. It had been so long that recalling the details took considerable effort. Ah, I remember now. You meticulously prepared to kill that masked Madara, didn't you? If I recall correctly, it was 600 billion explosive tags, right? How do you know that? Conan's face turned pale in an instant. Her secret preparations, unknown even to Nagato, had been exposed. Did you read my mind? Conan could only think of one possible explanation. Naruto chuckled helplessly. Come on, I know nothing about genjutsu, and without the help of the Yamanaka clan, how could I possibly do such a thing? In his previous life, during the Fourth Shinobi World War, Naruto had gleaned this information from Obito's memories while extracting the Ten-Tails from him. That was how he learned about Conan's 600 billion explosive tags. Seeing Conan's unsettled expression, Naruto pressed on. So, does this at least prove that I'm not just spouting nonsense? Conan took a deep breath, trying to regain her composure and restore her usual calm demeanor. Even if you know this secret, it doesn't prove that everything you said about Madara is true. Naruto replied candidly, you're right. Whether you believe me or not is up to you. But before you decide, could you at least hear me out? By revealing Conan's deepest secret, Naruto had gained significant leverage in the conversation. Half conceding, Conan said, fine. Speak. Naruto began, his tone steady and deliberate. It all started a long time ago. After losing to Hashirama Senju, Madara Uchiha obtained his former rival's power and awakened the Rinnegan. The Sharingan's ultimate evolution is the Rinnegan, which requires the combined power of both the Senju and Uchiha clans to awaken. When Madara awakened the Rinnegan, he was already on the brink of death, unable to fulfill his ambitions. So, he transplanted those eyes into Nagato when he was just a child. Nagato, being a descendant of the Senju with Uzumaki blood, was the perfect candidate to wield those eyes. That red hair, the same as my mother's, Kushina Uzumaki, is the best evidence. Madara was confident Nagato could handle the Rinnegan. The reason Madara gave Nagato the Rinnegan was to prepare for his own resurrection. The Rinne Rebirth Jutsu, that was the technique Madara intended to use for his revival, with Nagato as the executor. In other words, the real Madara is already dead. Following Naruto's explanation, Conan naturally asked, then who is that masked man claiming to be Madara? Naruto answered honestly, Uchiha Obito, the Uchiha hero who supposedly died during the Third Shinobi World War at the Battle of Kanobi Bridge. In truth, he was saved by Madara and chosen to guide Nagato in resurrecting him. Obito is the true driving force behind the Eye of the Moon plan. Conan's heart sank. He even knows about the Eye of the Moon plan. Could it be that everything he's saying is true? But she still couldn't bring herself to believe that the ideals they had upheld for so many years were nothing more than a fabricated lie. Seeing Conan's distress, Naruto refrained from mentioning the deepest secret of all that Black Zetsu was the one pulling the strings from the shadows. Conan-sensei, Naruto said gently, I know this truth is unbearably cruel to you, but it's not too late to face reality now. Konan's sharp gaze locked onto him. No, your perspective is all wrong. Akatsuki has investigated you. You've spent most of your life in Konoha and only left in the past 3 years to train with Jiraiya. How could you possibly know all this? Sigh. So I can't avoid this question after all. Naruto sighed inwardly, then stood up and approached Konan to untie her restraints. Extending his left fist, he said, "Let's fist bump. Then you'll understand everything." Konan hesitated, but the intense emotions swirling in Naruto's right eye compelled her to uncover the truth. Taking a deep breath, she reached out her hand. Drip. The moment their fists touched, ripples spread across her consciousness, and countless images flooded her mind. Konan's inner world was in turmoil. Her orange eyes flickered intensely. Is this all true? Every word, Naruto said solemnly. This is the real future. I escaped to this era on the brink of death. It's ironic, isn't it? The only reason I could return was because of the treasures of that clan. On our own, we couldn't do anything. Since I've returned, I have only one goal: to defeat those people and protect this world. For that, I need power strong enough to stand against them. Konan had mostly come to believe Naruto. After all, words could be fabricated, but the emotions within one's heart could not lie. She asked, "What do you plan to do?" Naruto replied, "I will do whatever it takes to grow stronger. Based on this premise, I will take action. For now, my plan is to gather the secret techniques and Kekkei Genkai of the major shinobi villages and unite all the tailed beasts' powers." Konan responded, "Secret techniques and Kekkei Genkai are the top secrets of each village. The tailed beasts are key to maintaining the balance of power among the 5 great nations. Are you planning to make enemies of the entire shinobi world?" Naruto smiled. "Exactly. I'll oppose the whole world first to save it later. Nobody would believe such nonsense, right? There's only one person in this world who would trust me unconditionally, but I don't want to involve her too soon. Besides, I must defect from Konoha first. Otherwise, as a Konoha shinobi, my every move would bring disaster to the village." At this point, Naruto sincerely asked, "Konan-sensei, now that you know the full story, can you understand my actions?" Konan countered, "Where is Nagato's body?" Naruto turned, and the stone door rumbled open, revealing 2 coffins inside. Konan stepped forward to examine them. Nagato lay peacefully in the first coffin, his face intact but his eye sockets empty. She then looked at the second coffin, which contained the body of Pain's Deva Path. This surprised Konan. Naruto smiled faintly. "That's Yahiko, isn't it? Someone very important to you, Konan-sensei." Konan gently stroked Yahiko's face. "Yes, he was my comrade. And my lover." Naruto remarked, "Only someone as handsome as him would be worthy of Konan-sensei." Konan smiled softly. There could be no better response. She forgave Naruto. Outside the cave, Konan surveyed the surroundings. Despite the protective barrier, there was still a risk of being discovered. "This is within the land of fire. Konoha must be searching for you everywhere," Konan noted. "My sage mode allows me to detect any disturbances. I won't be found so easily," Naruto replied, adjusting the bandage over his left eye. "I'll stay here until I fully adapt to this eye." "Where is Nagato's other eye?" Konan asked. "I've kept it safe. I've heard that transplanting the Rinnegan carries significant risks, so I thought I'd do it one at a time to be cautious. So far, I haven't felt any abnormalities." "If you can't return to Konoha, where will you go?" Konan asked. "I'll wander wherever I can. The shinobi world is vast. I'll find a place to stay." After a long silence, Konan finally said, "Such a dangerous plan can't succeed with you alone. You've inherited Nagato's will and his eyes. I have no reason not to support you with all my strength. Amigakure is willing to be your stronghold." Naruto was taken aback. "Konan-sensei, you?" At last, Konan revealed her true thoughts. She continued calmly, "When do we leave?" Naruto's gaze turned resolute. "Not yet. There's someone I must meet first. Akatsuki's hideout somewhere in the Land of Fire." In the wilderness of the Land of Fire, the massive skeleton of a beast marked the entrance to an underground lair. This was one of Akatsuki's hideouts. The ghetto statue sat motionless on an altar, its hands bound by heavy chains. The masked Obito sat on a stone chair in front of the statue. Through the single hole in his orange mask, his Sharingan glowed faintly, its dim light flickering in rhythm with the unsteady flames of the torches that illuminated the cavern. Black Zetsu and White Zetsu had brought 3 shocking pieces of news, leaving the calculating man in prolonged silence. Nagato, renowned for his invincibility as pain, had been defeated. Nagato had betrayed him, using the Rinne rebirth jutsu to revive the dead of Konoha. And Naruto appeared to have betrayed Konoha, taking Nagato's body with him. From beneath the mask, Obito's voice emerged, low and steady. Nagato's betrayal was unexpected, but Naruto's actions, they are even more surprising. White Zetsu asked, "What should we do now?" Obito turned his head slightly. "Did you overhear Naruto's conversation with Konan?" White Zetsu replied, "No, that kid can sense natural energy. If I got too close, I'd be in danger." Obito turned his gaze back. The worst-case scenario is that Naruto has set his sights on the Rinnegan. Additionally, according to intelligence intercepted by Akatsuki, the Raikage has called for a 5-Kage summit. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss Sasuke's punishment. I had originally planned to use this opportunity to declare war on the 5 great nations and reveal the Moon's Eye plan to the world. As he spoke, Obito clenched his hand tightly on his knee. But our ability to declare war depends on the power of the 7-tailed beasts we've sealed in the Geto statue up to now. And to wield that power, the Rinnegan is indispensable. White Zetsu exclaimed, "Then this is bad. If Naruto has the Rinnegan, he could summon the statue away at any moment and turn its power against us." Obito replied, "No need to panic just yet. The Rinnegan's ocular power isn't so easily mastered. It took Nagato years to summon the statue successfully." Though his words were calm, Obito's mind was racing. Naruto possesses an Uzumaki physique comparable to Nagato's. If he's determined, it's only a matter of time before he succeeds. Whether he defeated pain or suddenly revealed his ambitions, I can no longer treat him as a mere child. To be safe, I'll take an extra precaution. Obito slowly rose to his feet and extended his hand toward the Geto statue. Whoosh! A vortex of Kamui spiraled out from his right eye, engulfing the entire statue. Snap! The vortex closed, and the statue vanished without a trace. Obito said, "This will eliminate the immediate risk." White Zetsu cheered, "As expected of you, moving such a massive statue in an instant." Black Zetsu spoke in a low voice, "What's your next move?" Obito pondered aloud, "Deploy all the White Zetsu to search for Uzumaki Naruto's whereabouts. He should still be in the Land of Fire. Report to me immediately if you find any leads. We must reclaim the Rinnegan before things spiral out of control." White Zetsu replied, "Understood." Obito then turned to Kisame Hashigaki, who had been silently standing nearby. Not long ago, after the conclusion of the battle between Itachi and Sasuke, Obito had revealed his true identity to Kisame. Among the members of Akatsuki, Kisame was the one he trusted most, apart from White Zetsu. "Kisame, I'm entrusting the 8 tails to you." "Understood." Obito's gaze grew deep and contemplative. "We can't let a small setback throw us off course. The declaration of war against the 5 great nations will proceed as planned. As for a certain pair of eyes, let's see how the 5 Kage can help nurture them. Humph, let's pay a visit to our defeated warrior. After all, the matter of the 8 tails needs to be addressed, doesn't it, Sasuke?" Somewhere in the Land of Fire with Sasuke. In the Land of Fire, Team Taka was resting in a forest as they prepared to head toward Konoha. Before Pain's assault on Konoha, Sasuke and his team had attacked the Valley of Clouds and Lightning, retrieving only a tentacle from the 8 tails. Afterward, Team Taka had severed ties with Akatsuki and set out on their mission to seek revenge against Konoha. Yugo was alone by the river, filling a container with water. Birds chirped softly on his shoulder, and a gentle smile graced his lips. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Suddenly, the birds scattered in alarm. Yugo turned toward the forest behind him, only to see a blonde-haired boy with a bandage over his left eye approaching. It's you." Yugo recognized Naruto immediately. During Konoha's large-scale search for Sasuke before the battle between the Uchiha brothers, one of Naruto's shadow clones had encountered Team Taka, leaving a lasting impression on Yugo. To Naruto, who had returned from the future, Yugo was also a familiar face. With a smile, Naruto greeted him. "It's been a while, Yugo. You really do have a way with animals." "They're all right," Yugo replied curtly. "Are you here to see Sasuke?" Naruto's expression turned enigmatic. "No, I'm here for you, or more precisely, for someone I can only meet through you." Yugo's gaze darkened. "That's not going to happen." Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, two shadow clones lunged from the side, each wielding a Rinnegan. Yugo was shocked. Shadow clones. When did he? Boom! The explosion forced Yugo to retreat, skimming across the water's surface before stopping in the middle of the river. His shoulders bore deep, concave wounds where they had been nearly severed. He has sage powers, stronger than mine. Naruto stepped onto the water, his demeanor calm and composed. These minor injuries won't be a problem for you. If you come with me willingly, I won't have to get rough. Yugo's mind raced. Sasuke is 10 kilometers away. If I unleash my Cursed Seal Sage mode, Karin's sensory abilities should pick up on the situation here. Cursed Seal energy coursed through Yugo's body. Naruto's eyes narrowed. In an instant, he used a body flicker technique rivaling Shirsue's speed to appear directly in front of Yugo, pressing his hand against his chest. In his previous life, after Sasuke's Rinnegan was destroyed, he had lost the convenience of spatial manipulation. Forced to seek alternatives, Naruto had specifically learned the flying Raijin Jutsu. Now, having traveled back in time, the techniques engraved into his soul were naturally available to him. As for the spatial markers required for the flying Raijin, my clones left the marker during the initial attack. Thud! Naruto's left hand pressed firmly against Yugo's chest. Gurgle, gurgle. The energy of Yugo's cursed seal flowed continuously into Naruto's palm. Yugo gasped, "You're absorbing my chakra?" As the cursed seal energy drained away, Yugo's body rapidly shrank until he reverted to a childlike form and collapsed unconscious. What a fascinating body. No wonder Sasuke chose you. Naruto sighed, lifting Yugo onto his shoulder and returning to the riverbank. Whoosh! Konan materialized from a flurry of paper. That went more smoothly than I expected. He's actually quite strong, Naruto admitted. To avoid complications, I had to strike first. If Sasuke and the others had arrived, the outcome would have been hard to predict. His years in a post-apocalyptic world had instilled in Naruto an extraordinary sense of caution. He never acted without absolute certainty, and even when confident, he erred on the side of caution. Naruto gently laid Yugo down, removing the boy's wet clothes and covering him with Naruto's own dry cloak to keep him warm. Konan asked, "You're not taking him with us?" Naruto glanced at the cursed seal mark on his left palm. "I've already absorbed enough of his sage energy. There's no need to bring him along." Konan stared deeply at the bandage covering Naruto's left eye, silently marveling. Even with his optic nerves not fully connected, he's already capable of using the Rinnegan's basic powers. Perhaps he's even more suited to these eyes than Nagato was. Naruto donned Yugo's damp black cloak, the fabric clinging to him as he turned, his own cloak billowing dramatically. "Let's go. On to the next destination, Mansion of the Daimyo in the Land of Fire." The mansion of the daimyo of the Land of Fire was bustling with discussions about the reconstruction of Konohagakure no Sato. A long table was set in the grand hall. The daimyo of the Land of Fire, Mitsuhide Akechi, sat at the southern end of the table. To the east were 5 senior advisors to the daimyo, all wearing dark high hats. To the west sat 5 representatives from Konoha, Mitokado Hamura, Udatane Koharu, an ANBU squad leader clad in a white cloak and animal mask, the Jonin representative Shikaku Nara, and the head of the Root Division Danzo Shimura. Mitokado Hamura began. "We intend to continue our alliance's policies against Akatsuki." Across from him, the bespectacled and scholarly chief advisor replied, "Since the village has been reduced to this state, the Land of Fire will fully support its reconstruction. First, we must address the budget, and then work on repairing strained relations with other nations." At this point, Danzo interjected, "More urgent than those matters is determining the next Hokage." Shikaku Nara immediately tensed. As expected, it has begun. As the Jonin representative, Shikaku had previously proposed Kakashi Hatake as the next Hokage. However, he knew that another man coveted the Hokage's seat, Danzo Shimura. Kakashi's ascension would not come without resistance. The daimyo fanned himself leisurely. "Can't we wait until Tsunade recovers?" Udatane Koharu replied, "Daimyo-sama, Tsunade is still in a coma, and we don't know when she will wake up. Given the current state of the village, it will be difficult for her to lead effectively. Moreover, she bears some responsibility for the village's destruction." The responsibility Koharu referred to was Tsunade's decision to hide Naruto in the secluded Mount Myaboku, which had forced Pain to invade Konoha in search of him. The daimyo sighed. I had originally thought of choosing Jiraiya. I admired him greatly, but alas, he is no longer with us. Are there any other candidates? At this moment, Danzo opened his mouth. If that's the case, I nominate Kakashi Hatake. Shikaku interrupted forcefully. Ignoring the icy glare, Danzo shot his way. Oh, the son of the White Fang, is it? Not bad. The daimyo seemed pleased. He turned to the advisors. What do you all think? His reputation, strength, and character are all outstanding. But isn't he a bit too young? Wasn't the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, even younger at the time? The advisors voiced their opinions one after another, and the situation began to tilt in Kakashi's favor. Then, the bespectacled chief advisor asked, Kakashi Hatake, whose disciple is he? Mitokado Hamura answered, he was the disciple of the fourth Hokage. The daimyo clapped his hands. The fourth Hokage was Jiraiya's student, and Jiraiya was the third Hokage's student. It seems there's no issue. Very well. Just as the decision seemed settled, Danzo coldly interjected, the third Hokage's teachings have done nothing but push the village toward ruin. The daimyo flinched at Danzo's piercing gaze, hastily raising his fan to cover half his face. Seizing the moment, Danzo continued, the leader of Akatsuki, who destroyed our village, was once Jiraiya's student. This is the result of naively teaching foreign nations our techniques a fatal mistake. This misguided idealism, passed down through generations, led to the betrayal of our allied nations and gave Orochimaru the opportunity to attack the village. And now, Akatsuki's new rising star is none other than a remnant of the Uchiha clan, a rogue ninja, Sasuke Uchiha. Shikaku's expression grew grim as he listened to Danzo's accusations. Suddenly, Danzo's lips curled into a cunning smile, and he delivered another bombshell. But above all, the greatest failure lies with another of Jiraiya's disciples, Konoha's Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto Uzumaki, who has betrayed the village. Shikaku's expression changed drastically, and the entire hall erupted in shock. The chief advisor exclaimed, wait a moment, isn't Naruto the hero who defeated Akatsuki's leader? Isn't he currently resting and being celebrated for his deeds? Heh, Danzo sneered, glancing at Shikaku. You should ask the Jonin representative, Shikaku Nara, about that. The daimyo turned to Shikaku. Shikaku, what is going on? Sweat trickled down Shikaku's face. So, Danzo's spies had uncovered this after all, but he quickly composed himself. Daimyo-sama, it is true that Naruto did not return to the village after the battle. However, it is too early to conclude that he has betrayed us. Danzo, however, pressed on with baseless accusations. We have received critical intelligence suggesting that Naruto Uzumaki has been in contact with Akatsuki's second-in-command, plotting against the village. The advisors frowned. Is this intelligence reliable? Danzo added fuel to the fire. It is highly credible. I even suspect that Pain's attack on Konoha was part of a conspiracy between him and Naruto. The daimyo pondered deeply. That doesn't seem likely. Naruto is said to be a pure-hearted boy, a role model for many ninjas. Danzo retorted. There is no such thing as unlikely. Within him lies the Nine Tails, the embodiment of evil. No matter how pure-hearted he may appear, the darkness within him will inevitably consume him. Furthermore, this outcome stems from Jiraiya's inadequate teaching, Tsunade's indulgence as Hokage, and Kakashi's negligence as his Jonin instructor. The chief advisor adjusted his glasses. Daimyo-sama, even if Danzo's claims are unproven, it seems Kakashi is temporarily unsuited to become Hokage. Shikaku wanted to counter, but Danzo's exploitation of Naruto's alleged betrayal had already shifted the tide irreversibly. Bang! Danzo slammed the table and declared with conviction, what kind of Hokage does the village need now? One who can turn the tide in the worst of times. Someone who can bring about reform and establish new rules for the ninja world. That Hokage must be me. The daimyo closed his eyes in contemplation. Shikaku hurriedly interjected, Daimyo-sama, you must not take Danzo's words at face value. Konoha's ANBU is also tracking Naruto's whereabouts. I believe the truth will soon come to light. The daimyo opened his eyes and made his decision. Very well. It is decided. Danzo, you shall be appointed as the sixth Hokage. A triumphant smile crept across Danzo's face. He thought to himself, I had planned to use the power of my right eye to manipulate the daimyo if the situation turned unfavorable. but by exploiting the matter of Naruto's alleged betrayal to undermine Kakashi's candidacy, things have gone even more smoothly than expected. Shikaku, not even you can turn this around now. After leaving the daimyo's mansion, Danzo walked with his cane alongside a white-cloaked ANBU operative. How is the task I assigned you progressing? Following your instructions, we have spread rumors among the villagers that Naruto and Pain conspired to stage the attack. The story claims that Naruto fled the village after you exposed his plot. Danzo smirked. Excellent. The ANBU operative hesitated. Danzo-sama, there is still no concrete evidence that Naruto has betrayed the village. Moreover, he is one of the few individuals with strength comparable to Jiraiya. Isn't this move risky? Danzo replied coldly. Whether or not Naruto has betrayed us, as the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, he is a destabilizing factor for the village. This budding threat must be eliminated before it can grow. Furthermore, no matter how powerful a weapon, if it cannot be wielded by me, it is a liability. Sacrificing Naruto is a necessary step for Konoha's future. Placing a hand over his right eye, Danzo's ambition burned brightly. Once Naruto is dealt with, I will take control of the Nine-Tails. Then I, Danzo Shimura, will become the strongest Hokage in history. In a dark cave somewhere in the Land of Fire, rustling sounds filled the dimly lit hideout within the Land of Fire. Under the flickering candlelight, ink-painted mice scurried about, exploring every corner. Super Beast imitating drawing, a technique that combined chakra with unparalleled artistic skill, was unique to Sai. In the nearby forest, Sai maintained his hand seals as he spoke to Anko Mitarashi, who was assisting him in tracking down Kabuto Yakushi. Indeed, this is one of Orochimaru's former hideouts. Anko, hands in her pockets, remarked. Seems like Kabuto is putting his old lairs to good use. Snap. Suddenly, a noise came from the large tree behind them. Shing. Sai drew his blade, but Anko stopped him. Wait, it's an ally. Emerging from the shadows were three members of Konoha's reconnaissance team. Takuma Hyuga, Muta Aburame, and Avaro. They were a Jonin, a Tokubetsu Jonin, and a Chunin, respectively. Muta, clad in the signature light-colored coat of the Aburame clan and wearing black sunglasses, carried a large insect jar on his back. He stepped forward and addressed Anko. Captain Mitarashi, we've been sent to deliver new orders from the village. The mission has changed. We are to temporarily abandon the search for Kabuto Yakushi and prioritize locating Naruto Uzumaki. We will assist you as your subordinates. Naruto Uzumaki. Anko was taken aback. On our way here, Yamato hurried back to the village. Is this related? Muta explained. Konoha was severely damaged in Akatsuki's attack. Many lives were lost, and Lady Tsunade is currently in a coma. What? As a result, Lord Danzo has been appointed the 6th Hokage. Upon hearing this, Sai's pupils contracted sharply. Anko said, I still find it hard to believe. What exactly is going on with Naruto? We'll provide a detailed report later, Takuma interjected, casting a wary glance at Sai, whose affiliation with Root made certain discussions sensitive. For now, we take our leave. Sai leapt through the treetops, heading back toward Konoha. Lord Danzo has become Hokage, and Naruto has left the village. I have a very bad feeling about this. With the mission altered, Anko's team began their search for Naruto. Anko soon learned the reasons behind the change. Naruto betraying Konoha? I don't believe it for a second. She recalled the carefree, somewhat goofy boy she had observed during the Chunin exams and had kept an eye on as he grew. Muta said, none of us want to believe it, but we need to find Naruto to uncover the truth and prevent him from being manipulated or framed by Danzo. Rumors are already spreading in the village. Takuma, who was using his Byakugan for a wide-range scan, suddenly exclaimed, At 12 o'clock it's Naruto. He's heading straight for us. What? Anko landed on a tree branch, shouting, That's too coincidental. Everyone, stay on guard. The team held their positions, gripping their kunai tightly. A kilometer away, Naruto, who was sprinting toward them, deactivated his sage mode. We've been discovered. Returning to his homeland, he was about to face his comrades for the first time since his return. A mix of apprehension and determination swirled within him. Before he realized it, he was already standing before Anko's team. Ha! Naruto took a deep breath and greeted them calmly. Yo, Miss Anko. Long time no see. The four members of Anko's team scrutinized Naruto and the woman standing behind him, Konan. Muta frowned. That woman, her attire it's Akatsuki. Anko, hands still in her pockets, stepped forward. Naruto, not only did you leave without a word, but now you're associating with a member of Akatsuki. You'd better have a good explanation. Naruto replied, there's nothing to explain. What you see is what it is. Oh, Anko's expression tightened. Her hands clenched in her pockets, and a vein bulged on her forehead. You really are as straightforward as ever, aren't you? Naruto adjusted the rogue ninja headband he wore Sasuke's memento from their battle at the Valley of the End. That's right. This is my ninja way. Anko let out a bitter laugh, her frustration evident. Even now, you're still such an infuriating idiot. Behind Naruto, Konan spoke in a cold tone. It seems they don't think highly of me. Naruto chuckled. Well, considering how many Konoha ninja fell to Akatsuki even before Nagato, it's not surprising, Sister Konan. Konan asked, are you planning to handle them alone? Naruto replied, I haven't had a proper fight in decades. My reflexes have dulled. For opponents, all Jonin level, it's just the right number to help me regain my combat instincts. Then be careful. Konan stepped back, exiting the battlefield. Anko analyzed the situation carefully. The Akatsuki member doesn't intend to fight. That's a surprise. But Naruto defeated the enemy who destroyed our village. His current strength likely surpasses even that of my former teacher, Orochimaru. Even with our numerical advantage, we might not match him in raw power. Fortunately, Naruto's abilities are well documented. We can use that to devise a strategy. Takuma, use your Byakugan to scan for Naruto's shadow clones. Takuma replied, aside from the Akatsuki woman, there's only Naruto himself. Anko's eyes narrowed. So he doesn't plan to enter Sage mode. Does he think it's unnecessary? That brat I once intimidated with killing intent has really grown. Formation B. Shing. The team dispersed. Anko remained in front of Naruto, Takuma moved to the right, Muta to the left, and Avro circled around to the back. Naruto, show me if your strength is the real deal. A sly smile spread across Anko's lips as she bit her finger and formed the seals for a summoning jutsu. Summoning jutsu. Boom! With a cloud of white smoke, a massive snake coiled into view. Naruto exclaimed, whoa, that's huge. It looks just like the ones in the Chunin exam's Forest of Death. Speaking of which, Miss Anko, you were Orochimaru's disciple, weren't you? Crash. The snake lunged at Naruto, who leapt backward to evade. The tree he had been standing on was smashed to splinters by the serpent's attack. Shing! 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 From behind, Avro hurled several kunai fitted with explosive tags. Clang! 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 Naruto casually threw shuriken to intercept them all. Boom! The tags detonated mid-air, but Naruto landed safely, unscathed. Avro's expression turned grim. He didn't even look back, yet he intercepted my kunai perfectly. Is he judging their positions by sound? His shuriken skills are absurdly precise. The summoned snake launched another attack from the front. But this time, Naruto smirked, forming hand seals before pressing his palms to the ground. Earth release. Swamp of the underworld. Squelch. A swamp suddenly materialized, trapping the snake within its depths. Anko was stunned. Earth style? Naruto's chakra nature is wind. Isn't it? Naruto crouched, maintaining the swamp. Shing. From behind, Avro formed hand seals, his chest swelling. Fire release. Great fireball technique. Whoosh. A stream of fire erupted from his mouth, forming a massive fireball that sped toward Naruto's back. Poof. A shadow clone jutsu appeared in a puff of smoke. The team was shocked. He created a shadow clone in that situation? The clone, facing Avro, formed its own hand seals. Wind release. Gale palm. Boom. A fierce gust of wind reversed the fireball's trajectory. Avro was stunned. Impossible. He used wind style to overpower fire style. Arg! The fiery explosion uprooted trees and sent Avro flying, crashing heavily to the ground. Hey, are you okay, old man? Naruto called out, alarmed. He had only intended to test his skills, not harm his comrades. Avro, lying on the ground, held a nearly broken ninja shield. It had saved his life. Huff! Naruto sighed in relief. A Jonin shouldn't be so fragile, right? I'm a Chunin. Avro muttered before losing consciousness. Buzzing filled the air as Muta unleashed a swarm of parasitic insects from his jar, forming a black cloud that surrounded Naruto. Naruto didn't underestimate the threat. Before the insects could reach him, he threw a kunai at Muta. Muta dodged, and the kunai embedded itself in a tree behind him. The insects enveloped Naruto. Muta declared, "I can feel it. The insects are draining his chakra. We have the upper hand now." "Good. Let's finish this," Anko shouted. Hidden shadow snake hands. Snakes shot out from Anko's sleeves, coiling tightly around Naruto. "Give up, Naruto." Whoosh! But in an instant, the insects scattered, and the snakes fell limp to the ground. Muta was stunned. "What?" The target vanished. Takuma shouted, "Muta! Behind you!" Too late. Naruto delivered a swift hand chop to the back of Muta's neck. Ugh! Muta collapsed, unconscious, falling from the tree. Shing! Naruto calmly retrieved the kunai he had thrown earlier. Inscribed on it was a peculiar formula. Anko's face turned grim. "No doubt about it. That's the fourth Hokage's flying Raijin Jutsu. He has mastered the fourth Hokage's flying Raijin Jutsu. Captain Anko, what do we do now?" Takuma Hyuga asked with a serious expression. Anko replied, "We have no chance of winning. Take Avaro and Muta and retreat." Naruto spoke, "The others can leave, but Miss Anko, you must stay." Buzzing sounds filled the air as the scattered Kikeichu insects regrouped. Naruto formed seals. Fire release. Tornado. Boom. Flames spiraled around him and incinerated the approaching swarm. "This is our chance to retreat," Muta Aburame said. Suddenly, multiple Naruto shadow clones charged forward, wielding Rinnegan. Takuma activated his Byakugan. 8 trigrams palms. Revolving heaven. Bang. 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 As the revolving heaven subsided, Takuma's Byakugan locked onto the real Naruto. 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Thud. The blast forced Naruto back. Naruto smirked. As expected of a Hyuga elite, but this is as far as you go. Massive Rinnegan. Naruto leaped high into the air. "Captain Anko, I'll cover here. Retreat now and report everything that happened here to the village." Boom! The massive Rinnegan shattered the barrier. Landing on the ground, Naruto looked at Anko and said, "Now no one else is in the way, Miss Anko." Clenching her fists tightly, Anko demanded, "Naruto, why are you doing this?" After a moment of silence, Naruto pulled up the hood of his cloak and said in a low voice, "For the future of the ninja world, I need that man's help. Miss Anko, you are indispensable." Relieved that the snake had safely escaped with the intel, Anko said, "Now, I can play with you properly." Naruto replied, "You could also try escaping. You might even succeed." Pressing her thumb against her forehead protector, she declared firmly, "A Konoha ninja never abandons their comrades to flee alone. As someone from Konoha, you should understand this better than anyone." Naruto smiled. "Ah, I understand. In the ninja world, those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than scum." Then there's nothing more to say. Anko began forming seals. Fire release. Dragon fire technique. Swish. Swish. Naruto formed seals. Water release. Water dragon bullet technique. Whoosh. Naruto dashed forward, reaching out toward Anko. "This is a mutual destruction technique, Naruto. As you are now, you pose a threat to the village. I will die here with you." Twin snakes mutual death technique. Boom. A massive explosion erupted. Whoosh! The light of the flying Raijin Jutsu flashed as Naruto reappeared at a marked location, carrying the unconscious Anko. Shortly after their departure, a group of Konoha ANBU arrived at the scene. The black-cloaked ninjas examined Takuma and the others before reporting, "All 3 of them are still alive. Uzumaki Naruto didn't deliver fatal blows. As for Anko Mitarashi, her whereabouts are unknown. Judging by this, she was likely taken by Uzumaki Naruto. What should we do with these 3? Should we take them back and await orders from Lord Danzo?" The white-cloaked ninja responded coldly. "Although they are also Konoha ninjas, differing ideologies make us irreconcilable. Root's way is to mercilessly eliminate any unfavorable factors." Raising the scroll, he continued, "With this intel scroll and the corpses of these 3, Uzumaki Naruto's defection from Konoha will be fully certified. Furthermore, with the rumors spreading among the lower-level populace, this will serve as the most convincing evidence. There's no need to consult Lord Danzo. Root's ideology will be upheld by us. Kill them." Understood. Chapter 4. a display of power. Whoosh! Deep within the forest, a swirling vortex suddenly appeared before Sasuke and his team, interrupting their rest. Although the timing was slightly off, Tobi, wearing his mask, descended before Sasuke once again. With a deep voice, he greeted, "Yo, Sasuke!" Sasuke, Karen, and Suigetsu all stood up simultaneously. Karen frowned. That guy's chakra appeared out of nowhere. How is that possible? Suigetsu, ever nonchalant, remarked, "Well, isn't this just great timing?" Sasuke, cold and indifferent, asked, "How did you know I was here?" Tobi replied calmly, "Don't underestimate me. I have my ways." The spatial movement of Kamui, much like the flying Raijin Jutsu, relies on markings. However, unlike the flying Raijin, Kamui's markings can be left with the eye, making it more convenient. Both are indelible except by yin-yang release. Asterisk. Sasuke said coldly, "Why are you here now? We, the Taka, have already left the Akatsuki. We have nothing to do with each other anymore." Tobi's voice turned stern. "I told you before, betraying the Akatsuki leads only to death. You broke our agreement." Sasuke frowned. "What are you referring to?" "The task of capturing the tailed beasts," Tobi said. Karen interjected, "Didn't we already capture the 8 tails for you?" "That was merely a decoy," Tobi replied. "In other words, you failed." The 3 of them were stunned. "You were completely fooled by the 8 tails," Tobi continued. "To be honest, I'm deeply disappointed in you." Sasuke recalled the battle at the Valley of Clouds and Lightning. "I confirmed it with my Sharingan." He had no opportunity to use a clone. Suddenly, a detail came to mind the moment his Chidori sharp spear severed. The 8 tails' tail, it had sunk into the river. Could it have been then? Asterisk. Suigetsu, trying to maintain his composure, said, "Even so, what do you want us to do? We have nothing to do with you anymore." "No," Tobi replied. "I just hope you'll finish what the Akatsuki entrusted to you. That said, forget about the 8 tails for now. There's another task for you today." "And if I refuse?" Sasuke asked. Tobi continued as if he hadn't heard. "The reason I'm here is to stop you from heading to the Leaf Village. It seems I'll have to use force." Sasuke launched a Chidori asterisk thrust, only for it to pass right through Tobi. Exclamation point. Sasuke was startled, recalling his encounter with Deidara. My attack passed through him again, just like last time. So this is his ability. Asterisk. Tobi glanced sideways. "I've heard about your intentions. Unfortunately, they will come to nothing." Sasuke turned sharply. "What do you mean?" "The Leaf Village no longer exists," Tobi said. The 3 of them were once again stunned. Karen demanded, "What do you mean?" "Rustle, rustle." At that moment, Zetsu emerged from the ground beside Tobi. Karen tensed up. Don't worry. He's with me," Tobi assured her before turning to White Zetsu. "Who's the new Hokage?" Zetsu replied, "It's that guy, Danzo." "Just as I expected," Tobi muttered. Sasuke frowned. "Danzo became Hokage?" "That's right," Tobi confirmed. "One of the Konoha elders who drove your brother away has become the new Hokage." "What happened to the Leaf Village?" Sasuke finally asked. Tobi glanced at the 2 behind Sasuke. "Where's that subordinate of yours, Yugo?" Suigetsu replied. "He went to fetch water. Though, it's taking him quite a while." Karen adjusted her glasses, annoyed. "Honestly, everyone's so unreliable." Her face turned serious, but her inner thoughts betrayed her. "Sasuke, hurry up and fire them so we can elope together." Suigetsu shrugged. "You could have just drunk the water from me. Yugo only went because you were thirsty." Karen clenched her fists, veins bulging on her forehead. "Who would drink water from an idiot like you? What if I turn into an idiot after drinking it?" Her inner monologue continued unabated. Asterisk. "And what about my future children?" With Sasuke asterisk. Suigetsu teased, "You're already not very bright, so it wouldn't make much of a difference." "You bastard." Thud. Karen punched Suigetsu's head, which turned into water, and then began kicking him as he cried out in pain. Sasuke sighed in exasperation. "Stop it, Suigetsu." Karen, watching this farce, even Tobi seemed at a loss for words. Returning to the main topic, he said, "Enough. It doesn't matter if he's not here. It won't affect what we need to discuss next. The Leaf Village was destroyed by my subordinate, Pain. Sasuke, both you and Pain have been too conspicuous, and now the 5 Kage are preparing to act." Sasuke's gaze darkened. "The 5 Kage," Tobi continued. The 5 Kage summit is about to convene. Zetsu added, I'll explain the details from here. The news of Naruto's defection and his alleged betrayal spread like wildfire in the Leaf Village, thanks to Root's machinations. Previously, Root had circulated rumors that the Akatsuki's leader, Pain, had attacked the Leaf Village in collusion with Naruto, staging the event to gain the villagers' trust. After being exposed by Danzo, Naruto fled the village overnight. Initially, the villagers were skeptical of these rumors. After all, Naruto had spent years earning their trust through his actions. But the corpses of Takuma Hyuga, Muta Aburame, and Avaro, along with the scroll left by Anko, were undeniable evidence. The villagers gathered in front of a temporary tent set up for high-level discussions, waiting for news. When it was confirmed that the scroll's contents were true, public opinion completely shifted. As expected, the Nine Tails is just the Nine Tails. Naruto was a cancer hiding in plain sight. We were all deceived by him. That damn Naruto should be executed. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of a cane silenced the crowd. Danzo approached, speaking in a steady tone. Konoha has always shown no mercy to traitors. It was only due to the 5th Hokage's indulgence that things escalated to this point. But I, Danzo Shimura, will put an end to this chaos and give Konoha the resolution it deserves. After a brief silence, the crowd erupted into thunderous cheers. We swear allegiance to Lord Danzo's leadership. No one noticed the sly smile beneath Danzo's Hokage hat, a sign of his scheme's success. In the original cave where Naruto and Konan resided, Konan asked, Is it time to begin? Naruto replied, Yes, let's begin. Konan lifted the unconscious Anko Mitarashi. I still can't believe this is actually possible. Naruto explained, The essence of the curse mark developed by Orochimaru is an independent consciousness. As long as the curse mark exists, he is immortal. However, to awaken him, we need the blueprint of the curse mark, which I obtained earlier from Yugo. Naruto stepped forward, placing his left hand on the curse mark on the back of Anko's neck. Whoosh! The sage energy absorbed from Yugo flowed into the mark. Slowly, Naruto lifted his hand. Rustle, rustle. A white snake emerged from the curse mark, its mouth opening wide as Orochimaru's elegant figure materialized. Thud! Anko collapsed to the ground, still unconscious. Naruto and Konan took a step back in unison. Rising from the viscous substance on the ground, Orochimaru's slit pupils locked onto the blonde-haired boy before him. His raspy yet seductive voice echoed, Hehehe. How unexpected. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that the one to bring me back to life would be you. Naruto, with his jet-black hair, golden vertical pupils, purple eyeshadow extending to his nose, pale skin, and blue-green Magatama-shaped earrings, along with a light yellow sash tied in a lavender knot at his back. He exuded an otherworldly aura. Orochimaru, the man known as the Wind of Calamity, still carried an air of transcendent elegance. He fixed his gaze on Naruto, his expression devoid of the disdain he once held. This was inevitable. Through Anko's body, he had already witnessed Naruto's current capabilities. Naruto Uzumaki, the clumsy boy who used to trail behind Sasuke Kuin, seems to have grown into something resembling a ninja. So, why have you gone to such great lengths to meet someone like me, who once wronged you? Naruto got straight to the point. Orochimaru-san, I won't beat around the bush. I want to gain immense power and create a new ninja world. For that, your knowledge and jutsu are indispensable. Hearing this, Orochimaru's gaze deepened. I thought it would be something simple, like letting you meet your father, Minato Namikaze. But it seems your ambition is far greater than I imagined. Naruto replied. It seems you're not too willing. Orochimaru responded. My goal is to uncover all the truths of this world, not to serve any individual or organization. Villages, Akatsuki, they're all just shackles that hold me back. Naruto said, I won't become your shackle. While helping me, you can continue your research as long as… Orochimaru interrupted with a smile. As long as what? I don't harm this ninja world. Naruto unexpectedly replied. Completely avoiding harm is impossible. I only hope you act within certain boundaries. Oh, Orochimaru was slightly surprised. Hearing such a pragmatic statement from you is intriguing. I wonder, what exactly happened to you? Naruto said. If you're interested, I can tell you slowly in the future. Orochimaru chuckled. I'd rather not. Rationality tells me not to delve too deeply into such matters. At this moment, Konan stepped in to assist. Orochimaru, you need a stable place right now. If you're willing to assist Naruto, Amage Cure is prepared to provide you with experimental facilities and protection. Orochimaru said, that sounds appealing, but I'm afraid I'll have to decline. Is that so? What a pity, Conan said coldly, glancing at Naruto, who was deep in thought, his head lowered. Orochimaru seemed determined to dash Naruto's hopes entirely. Let me be honest with you, Naruto. I've long studied the power of the Uzumaki clan. Their immense vitality can suppress a tailed beast's chakra, and their sealing techniques hold potential rivaling that of the Senju. But compared to these, the power of the Uchiha is far more alluring. The impact Itachi had left on Orochimaru was profound, fueling his obsession with Uchiha power. Naruto raised his head. So, you still can't let go of Sasuke? Can you? Orochimaru replied. The pursuit of truth requires unwavering dedication. Naruto, even if your current strength surprises me, I won't give up on Sasuke. He is the perfect vessel I've chosen, with potential surpassing even Itachi no, perhaps even Uchiha Madara. Unlike in his previous life, Orochimaru had not yet witnessed Kabuto's fate before being resurrected. Thus, he still harbored ambitions of taking over Sasuke's body. Naruto's gaze turned cold. In that case, I can't let you leave. That's not up to you. Swoosh! Orochimaru's legs transformed into a snake tail, propelling him swiftly toward the exit of the cave. Whoosh! Naruto appeared at the cave entrance, where he had placed a flying Raijin marker, blocking Orochimaru's path. The flying Raijin jutsu, is it? Orochimaru's thoughts raced. My hands are still sealed in the belly of the Shinigami due to the dead demon consuming seal. Any jutsu requiring hand signs is unusable. From what I saw through Anko, Naruto's basic combat abilities are on par with an elite jonin. If he activates Sage Mode, the situation will turn dire for me. **Ninja Art. Soft Physique Modification. Whoosh! While darting forward, Orochimaru's neck suddenly elongated, coiling around Naruto before sinking his sharp fangs into Naruto's neck. I'll bind his body with the power of the cursed seal for now. Buzz! Black curse mark patterns spread from Naruto's neck across his body. But at that moment, Naruto suddenly raised his arm, locking Orochimaru's neck with his elbow joint, preventing him from retracting his head. Orochimaru was startled. Could it be he let me bite him on purpose? You inject chakra into my body through your fangs. Likewise, I can do the same. Naruto closed his eyes, meditating to enter Sage Mode without moving. Whoosh! Natural energy surged in, causing Orochimaru's beautiful face to contort in pain. Ugh! Natural energy is flowing back into my body through our connection arc. Naruto opened his eyes, smiling. How does the sage energy of Mount Myaboka differ from that of Ryuchi Cave? Orochimaru-san, care to share your thoughts? Snap! Orochimaru suddenly opened his mouth, and a hand emerged, followed by a head and body. Within seconds, a new Orochimaru stood on the ground, putting distance between himself and Naruto. Sizzle! Naruto suppressed the curse mark, glancing at the shriveled snake skin in his hand. Orochimaru's substitution technique truly is unparalleled. It seems you won't let me leave so easily. Formation of 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru crouched on the ground, laughing as hundreds of snakes slithered from his mouth. Each snake opened its jaws, spewing countless Kusanagi swords, forming a torrent of blades surging forward. Konan-senpai, I'll leave Anko-san to you, Naruto shouted, retreating outside the cave. Conan picked up Anko and moved to safety. Boom! Naruto's shadow clone outside the cave dispelled, feeding Sage Chakra back to the original body. Orange eyeshadow appeared, and his exposed right eye took on the horizontal toad pupils of Sage Mode. Boom! A new shadow clone appeared mid-air, assisting Naruto in shaping the Rinnegan with a single hand. Buzz! The sharp sound of cutting accompanied the rising wind blades. Naruto leaped into the air, hurling the deadly weapon toward the torrent of snakes and swords below. **Sage Art. Wind Release. Raisin Shuriken. **. Boom! The white storm exploded, obliterating the advancing serpents and shaking the cave to its core. Boom! Suddenly, with an even louder crash, the cave collapsed entirely. Standing before them was a colossal 8-headed serpent. Swoosh! Orochimaru's slimy, sticky body emerged from the central serpent's head, laughing hoarsely. Hee. Too bad, Naruto. Your jutsu is strong, but it can't completely defeat me. So that's Orochimaru's ultimate technique, the 8 branches technique. Naruto landed, his expression solemn. Since my return, Kurama has refused to cooperate. Should I summon the Great Toad? But that might complicate the situation. From above, Conan asked, Naruto, do you need my help? No need. Even if we forcefully capture Orochimaru, it won't mean much if he doesn't willingly cooperate. Swoosh. As he spoke, Naruto removed the bandage from his left eye, revealing a pale purple iris with 3 concentric rings, radiating a divine glow. The Rinnegan, the symbol of the 6 paths. Orochimaru's pupils contracted. That left eye, could it be? Naruto smirked. This should make things a bit more interesting. Rinnegan. Before Orochimaru joined the Akatsuki, he had a little-known encounter with Pain's Deva Path. The moment he saw Pain's eyes, he immediately recognized them as the legendary, exalted eyes of the Sage of 6 Paths. Driven by his insatiable thirst for truth, Orochimaru made a rare, reckless move. Without any feints or preparations, he directly lunged forward, attempting to gouge out Pain's eyes. The result? He was sent flying hundreds of meters away, rolling to a stop amidst the shattered remains of trees. Covered in dust, he struggled to his feet, the vast distance between them a stark testament to the gap in their power. For the first time in his life, Orochimaru was awed by sheer strength. This encounter also sparked his intense interest in the Akatsuki, prompting him to join with the intention of fishing in troubled waters. Unfortunately, Pain's overwhelming power left him with no opportunity to act. It was then that Orochimaru truly grasped the harshness of reality. That Pain, you actually defeated him. And not only that, you managed to seize those eyes before Tobi could. I think I understand now why you dared to release me without fear of betrayal, Naruto asked. So, will you submit to me willingly? Orochimaru replied. Judging by your demeanor, it seems you've only just obtained those eyes. How much of their power can you actually wield? Naruto smiled. Even if it's just 10%, that should be enough to deal with you. Orochimaru chuckled darkly. Hehehe. Then I suppose I'll have to see it for myself. Boom! The ground quaked as the 8-headed serpent charged forward with overwhelming force. Without a colossal chakra construct like the Susanoo, it was nearly impossible to withstand such an assault. Retreating would have been the wisest choice, but Naruto stood his ground. It was simple. He intended to completely subdue Orochimaru with raw power. As the 8-headed serpent closed in, its massive snake heads struck down one after another, each blow carrying strength far surpassing that of the giant snake. Naruto's left eye narrowed as he raised his palm, forming an invisible barrier that blocked the serpent's ferocious attacks. The barrier was one of the Rinnegan's abilities, specifically categorized under the Deva Path. When Nagato, as a child, had yet to master the Rinnegan, he had unintentionally used this ability to protect Yahiko and Konan from an explosion. Later, Pain's Deva Path employed the barrier to easily block Naruto's 6-tailed beast bomb attacks. The only drawback of this barrier was that it required the user to extend their hand beforehand. Not bad. But how about this? Seeing that brute force couldn't break through the barrier, Orochimaru commanded the 7 other snakeheads, excluding the one he inhabited, to each spew out a giant-sized Kusanagi sword. After gathering power, the 7 swords struck together at Naruto's position. Naruto raised his hand. Clang, 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 clang. The 7 Kusanagi swords came to an abrupt halt in mid-air. Orochimaru's slit pupils narrowed. This isn't the barrier's range. Naruto's left eye glowed as he declared firmly, Shinra Tensei, **. Boom! A powerful repulsive force erupted from Naruto, centered around him. The ground beneath him caved in, forming a basin. Ugh! This is the same technique Pain used on me back then. The massive body of the 8-headed serpent was relentlessly pushed back under the overwhelming repulsive force. In the sky, Konan, carrying an unconscious Enko, observed the battle with her white paper wings spread wide. It's like watching Nagato fight. Naruto has already mastered this technique so quickly. Boom! The 8-headed serpent retreated until it crashed into a distant mountain wall. Swoosh! Naruto swiftly launched a kunai into the air. As the kunai reached the serpent's level, he teleported to it using the flying Raijin Jutsu star. Grasping the kunai in his left hand, his cloak billowing, Naruto performed a graceful mid-air spin. With his right hand extended towards the distant mountain, his left eye suddenly radiated light. Bansho Tenin. Rumble. The mountain collapsed, sending massive boulders crashing down onto the 8-headed serpent. Clang. The kunai landed, and Naruto returned to the ground, crouching to pick it up. Glancing at the serpent buried under the rubble, he muttered to himself, I can't use Chibaku Tensei *4 now, so this will have to do as a substitute. Rumble. With a deafening roar, The 8 snake heads burst out from beneath the rocks. Naruto shrugged with a smile. Looks like it's not a good substitute after all. Naruto, you've successfully ignited my fighting spirit. As Orochimaru spoke, his body retracted, and the 8 snake heads converged, channeling chakra to form a massive purple sphere. Naruto's eyes widened. That technique, Conan warned. Be careful. That chakra is extraordinary, Naruto muttered. Yeah, it's almost on par with the tailed beast bombs of Kurama and the others. Inside Naruto, the dormant 9 tails twitched its large ears at the mention of Kurama. Boom! The 8-headed serpent unleashed its condensed chakra sphere, firing it straight at Naruto. Asterisk Yamada no Tama. Asterisk. This must be your strongest attack under the 8-headed technique. This must be your strongest attack under the 8-headed technique. Naruto stood firm. As the Yamada no Tama approached, he suddenly raised his palm, his left eye flashing with brilliance. Preta path. Asterisk. Whoosh! A translucent barrier appeared, halting the Yamada no Tama in its tracks. This was the sealing barrier of the Preta path, capable of absorbing any jutsu activated with chakra. Every technique has its limits, and the Preta path is no exception. However, among all known techniques, none have exceeded its absorption capacity, not even the tailed beast bomb. The Yamada no Tama was no exception. Whoosh! The Yamada no Tama rapidly shrank, reverting to pure chakra and being absorbed by the barrier. Orochimaru, emerging from the central snake head, watched this scene with trembling eyes. After fully absorbing the Yamada no Tama, the playful look in Naruto's eyes vanished entirely. It's over. Naruto launched another attack. Orochimaru's body retracted again. Not this time. In midair, Naruto thrust out his palm. Asterisk Bansho Tenin. Whoosh! A powerful gravitational force pulled Orochimaru's retreating body forward, forcibly separating him from the 8-headed serpent. Orochimaru resisted with all his might. He's trying to separate my true body from the 8-headed serpent. I can't let him succeed. Whoosh! Naruto's palm intensified its gravitational pull. Orochimaru was finally dragged out. Naruto slammed his palm down. Boom! The gravitational force smashed Orochimaru heavily into the ground. Thanks to his extensively modified, highly flexible body, Orochimaru was still able to move despite the severe impact. It's over. Naruto leaped into the air, releasing multiple black rods from his sleeve that precisely pierced Orochimaru's chakra points. Ugh! Naruto's immense chakra surged through the black rods of the 6 paths technique, completely suppressing Orochimaru's own chakra. After struggling in vain, Orochimaru sighed. I can't move. Poof! Behind him, the 8-headed serpent vanished in a cloud of smoke, having lost its master's control. Swoosh! Naruto reappeared with the flying Raijin Jutsu, standing over Orochimaru. Orochimaru-san, can I finally ask you to stop targeting Sasuke now? Compared to making Orochimaru submit, Naruto was more concerned about Sasuke's safety. Orochimaru too was unsettled. To think he could wield these eyes superior even to the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to such an extent in such a short time. Uzumaki Naruto, a branch of the Senju clan, could he also possess the potential to embrace the Uchiha? Asterisk. For the first time in his life, Orochimaru began to suspect he had misjudged someone. He straightened up and said seriously, the defeated have no right to speak. I will abandon my pursuit of Sasuke from now on. However, asking me to immediately pledge allegiance to you is still a bit difficult. A ninja of Orochimaru's caliber would never simply yield to strength alone. Naruto's expression softened somewhat upon receiving Orochimaru's promise to leave Sasuke alone. Moreover, Orochimaru had said he couldn't immediately submit, not that he couldn't submit at all. With that, Naruto removed the black rods from Orochimaru. After standing up, Orochimaru asked with interest, Naruto-kun, aren't you afraid I'll just leave? Naruto smiled faintly. He was no longer the naive boy he had once been. After years as Hokage, he had become well-versed in the art of leadership. A balance of kindness and authority was far more effective than brute force alone. Orochimaru-san, you are free to leave any time you wish. But I assure you, one day, you will willingly return to my side. This calm confidence only piqued Orochimaru's curiosity further. The last time I clashed with Naruto was only half a year ago. Back then, he was still reckless, relying solely on his incomplete Nine-Tails power, with nothing else to his name. Yet in just 6 months, he's become someone I can no longer see through. Asterisk. Orochimaru said, very well. Let me see what you do next. That will determine my choice. Naruto pondered for a moment and said, We'll go to the Shinigami, who casts the asterisk dead demon consuming seal, and retrieve your hands first. What? Orochimaru's slit pupils contracted sharply. Naruto smirked. The place I've chosen is not far from the Uzumaki clan's mask shrine. It's quite convenient for your purpose, isn't it? As he finished speaking, he suddenly extended his hand to the side. Bansho Tenin. Asterisk. Swoosh. A white Zetsu, who had been observing the scene from the bushes, was pulled over by an invisible force. Naruto grabbed white Zetsu by the throat with his left hand. Did Tobi send you? So he's already scouting this place. Impressive. Uzumaki Naruto. I won't let you relay this information to your companions. ZZZT. Naruto's left Rinnegan glowed, and white Zetsu's gaze instantly turned vacant. Turning away, Naruto said, "Let's go, Orochimaru-san. Don't you want to reclaim the technique you've longed for?" Orochimaru stared deeply at Naruto's back. This storm called Naruto has already surpassed Sasuke in intensity. It's truly intriguing. Where will this storm blow next? Asterisk. At the mask shrine of the Uzumaki clan, amidst a dazzling array of masks, Orochimaru found the one described in the secret scroll. The Hanya mask, which housed the spirit of the dead demon consuming seal, was the key to undoing the seal. Orochimaru said, "This is it. I only discovered its existence after scouring countless documents." Naruto, how did you know about it? Konan couldn't help but glance at Naruto. As the only one who knew the truth, she was curious whether Naruto would reveal everything to Orochimaru. After a moment of contemplation, Naruto replied, "The dead demon consuming seal is a sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. As a member of the clan, it's not surprising that I know about it, right?" Konan withdrew her gaze, slightly relieved. Such a significant secret couldn't be casually shared with someone whose loyalty was still uncertain. If they became an enemy in the future, it would only spell trouble. Naruto said seriously, "Orochimaru-san, perform the technique here." Orochimaru sighed. "In my original plan, this scene was supposed to take place elsewhere." He was referring to the Uchiha shrine. Performing the ritual there would have symbolized his reverence for the Uchiha and added a sense of ceremony. But performing it here in the Uzumaki clan's mask shrine carried its own sense of ritual, didn't it? Taking a deep breath, Orochimaru donned the Hanya mask. Boom! Ugh! A powerful storm of chakra erupted. Orochimaru, swept up in the torrent, trembled as his arms stretched outward. The Shinigami of the dead demon consuming seal revealed its imposing form. Orochimaru said, "Naruto-kun, aside from the souls of my arms, 4 other souls will also be released. Among them is..." Naruto interrupted. "I understand. I have my own solution." Orochimaru chuckled. "Good. Dead demon consuming seal. Release. Asterisk, slash. The Shinigami drew its blade and sliced open its own stomach. Alpha 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 Eta 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 Eta. As the sacrifice, Orochimaru immediately suffered a fatal backlash, letting out a piercing scream, swoosh, from the Shinigami's slit abdomen. The souls of Orochimaru's arms and the 4 Hokage flew out one after another. Naruto crouched down, prying open the mouth of the white Zetsu. Orochimaru regurgitated his true form, the white phosphorus snake, and slithered into the Zetsu's body, a substitution transferring the Shinigami's curse to another. Using the forbidden technique, living corpse reincarnation, Orochimaru took over the white Zetsu's body. Swoosh, swoosh, the souls of his arms returned, restoring the jutsu he had lost. The 4 Hokage's souls hovered in midair. Naruto's gaze lingered on the 4th soul. With a complex expression, he murmured, "I'm sorry, father. Now is not the time." His left Rinnegan opened. Asterisk Naraka path. Asterisk. Whoosh. Purple flames ignited, manifesting as the imposing king of hell, which devoured the 4 Hokage souls. Naruto silently hoped, "But I believe the day we meet again will come soon." Orochimaru flexed his long-lost hands, then lowered them, looking at Naruto with newfound respect. Konan stepped forward and asked, "What's the next step? Are we returning to Amigakure?" Naruto closed his eyes, reflecting on the current situation. The 5 Kage summit was about to convene, initiated by the Raikage, with the main agenda being the pursuit of Sasuke and the Akatsuki. Danzo, having seized the position of Hokage, would attend the summit. Meanwhile, Sasuke, goaded by Tobi, would attack the summit and confront Danzo. Naruto vividly remembered how, back then, he had knelt before the Raikage, begging to protect Sasuke, and how, after killing Danzo, Sasuke had nearly blinded himself from overusing his ocular powers, their eyes meeting in that fateful moment. The banquet of the present. How swiftly time flies. But Naruto knew now was not the time to dwell on the past. For a long time, his genjutsu skills had been a weakness. While the Ninetales chakra mode allowed him to resist most illusions, it was ineffective against ocular techniques like Tsukuyomi, which could manipulate time within the illusion. And among the Otsutsuki clan, many possessed similar illusionary powers. To achieve bloodless victories in the future, a pair of eyes proficient in genjutsu was essential. Danzo's right eye was undoubtedly the best choice for now. Opening his eyes, Naruto had a new plan. Under the watchful gazes of Konan and Orochimaru, Naruto took a mask from the wall and slowly put it on. To the land of iron. The 5 Kage summit. We will strike before Tobi and Sasuke. Our target is Danzo. Yugo. Team Taka followed the riverbank and found Yugo lying unconscious on the ground. His form reduced to that of a child. Ugh! Yugo groaned, clutching his throbbing head as he sat up. Sasuke asked, "What happened?" Yugo's expression was blank, his memory hazy. Before leaving, Naruto had tampered with Yugo's memories. Naruto wasn't ready to reveal himself to Sasuke just yet. Although Yugo had been ambushed, Sasuke chose not to pursue the matter for now. His mind was preoccupied with tracking down his enemy. Sasuke said, "Forget it. It's enough that you're alive. We'll investigate this later. Right now, we have more important matters to attend to." More important matters? Yugo asked. Sasuke's 6-pointed Mangekyo Sharingan gleamed with a sharp light. Our target has changed. The land of iron. The 5 Kage summit. Team Taka will hunt down Danzo of the Leaf there, and so, Team Taka set out for the land of iron. Meanwhile, Obito, wearing his mask, and White Zetsu observed from the treetops in the distance. White Zetsu asked, puzzled, "Why don't you let me inform Sasuke about Naruto's movements? Wouldn't it be better to use him against Naruto?" Obito, after some thought, replied, "Naruto took Nagato's body. This concerns the Rinnegan and the Geto statue, 2 of our highest secrets. It's best not to involve Sasuke. Besides, the current Naruto is likely beyond Sasuke's ability to handle." White Zetsu nodded. "Fair point." Obito continued, "Through battles with the 5 Kage, we can cultivate Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan as a backup plan. That's the safer approach. Speaking of which, have you found Naruto's whereabouts?" White Zetsu replied, "Not yet. However, one of my clones recently went missing. It was likely eliminated by someone." "Oh!" Beneath his mask, Obito raised an eyebrow. "To take out one of your clones before it could relay information. Intriguing. Tell me where the clone disappeared." Whoosh! Seconds later, Obito appeared at the site of Naruto's earlier battle with Orochimaru, his Kamui vortex transporting him there. Kamui's teleportation required spatial markings. Over the years, Obito had marked much of the Land of Fire. While it wasn't exaggerated to say he had marked the entire region, he certainly had enough coverage to move freely within a 100-mile radius of the Hidden Leaf Village. About a minute later, White Zetsu arrived, slightly late. Surveying the scene of destruction, Obito's voice was low. "There's no mistaking it. Only those eyes could cause such devastation. Naruto has mastered the power of the Rinnegan." White Zetsu remarked, "Unbelievable. Back then, it took Nagato years after Akatsuki's formation to reach this level of mastery." Obito responded, "Not surprising. Naruto is a late bloomer. His potential now likely surpasses Nagato's." White Zetsu hesitated. "So what do we do now? We've been put on the back foot." Obito's gaze darkened. "No need to fear. As long as I control the Geto statue and the tailed beasts, Naruto can't gain the upper hand. And even if the worst happens, I still have a trump card, a last resort I've avoided using all these years." In the Hidden Leaf Village, the populace, apart from a few jonin led by Shikaku, had fully accepted Danzo's leadership. This was the result of Danzo's smear campaign against Naruto, a strategy that had proven highly effective. Now, all that remained was for the 5 Kage summit to conclude successfully and for Sasuke, the rogue ninja, to be eliminated. With that, even the jonin would have no choice but to acknowledge Danzo as Hokage. Inside the Hokage's temporary tent, Danzo sat upright, 3 root members kneeling before him. Danzo spoke, "This way, I can leave for the 5 Kage summit without worry. Given the current situation, we must ensure everything proceeds without error. Deploy more personnel. Capture Kabuto at all costs." Danzo thought to himself. Kabuto might possess knowledge of his dealings with Orochimaru, a connection that could destabilize his newly secured position as Hokage. Also, retrieve Orochimaru's research data from Kabuto. It might prove useful for my right eye and arm. Danzo revealed his ironclad right arm and pressed his bandaged right eye, his expression grim. After issuing his orders, he addressed the 3 root members. Fu and Toryun, stay here. Terai, you're in charge of Kabuto. Go. Yes, sir. Terai vanished, leaving Fu and Toryun behind. Danzo continued, now, it's time for me to attend the 5 Kage summit. By agreement, only 2 guards are allowed to accompany me. As 2 of Root's finest, you'll come with me. However, masks are not permitted. Remove them. The 2 complied, revealing their faces Yamanaka Fu and Aburame Toryun. Yamanaka Fu asked, as guards, what weapons should we prepare? Danzo replied, that's up to you. Understood. Danzo added, Toryun, have your men locate Uzumaki's whereabouts. The Ninetales must remain under our control. Also, keep an eye on Sai. He may betray Root. Be cautious. Eliminate the rogue ninja Uzumaki Naruto. Destroy the Ninetales demon fox Naruto. Restore our home. The villagers of the Leaf, outraged, marched in protest against Naruto. Some even set fire to his house, reducing it to ashes. The situation had spiraled out of control. Kakashi and others, deeply troubled, found themselves unable to defend Naruto in the face of seemingly irrefutable evidence. Danzo, now Hokage, had issued a kill-on-sight order for Sasuke, branding him a rogue ninja. Meanwhile, Naruto's reputation as a hero had been utterly destroyed. The appearance of these 2 rogue ninjas was a heavy blow to their peers. Near a makeshift bench in the village, Naruto and Sasuke's former classmates gathered to discuss the matter. Neji Hyuga and Shino Aburame remained silent, their expressions heavy. After all, the deceased link to Naruto included members of both the Hyuga and Aburame clans. Ino Yamanaka sat on the bench, crying. To her, Sasuke had once been the prince of her dreams. Sakura Haruno, too, looked pale. Her village was in ruins, her mentor comatose, and her 2 teammates had become traitors. One had been her pillar of support, the other her deepest longing. Without Naruto and Sasuke, could Team 7 still be called team? But no one was more heartbroken than Hinata Hyuga. Everyone said the boy she loved most had killed members of her clan. Shikamaru Nara, always the most rational, broke the oppressive silence. It's too early to convict Naruto. The 3 corpses were brought back by Root. Knowing their methods, there's likely more to this than meets the eye. The group fell into deep thought. After a long pause, Sakura hesitantly asked, what about Sasuke? Shikamaru sighed. Sasuke's crimes are undeniable. No one can defend him. His situation is even more precarious than Naruto's. While Naruto's actions threaten only the Leaf, Sasuke is now a global enemy. The 5 Kage summit in the Land of Iron was convened specifically to discuss his elimination. Sakura bit her lip, her heart aching. Naruto, why? As a hero, why would you do something so reckless at such a critical moment? You're the only one who can save Sasuke. A soft yet firm voice interrupted her thoughts. I'm going to find Naruto. The group turned in shock. Hinata? Hinata's determination was unwavering. Naruto must have had no choice but to leave the village. There's no way he killed Takuma. There must be more to this. Neji tried to console her. Lady Hinata, I understand how you feel, but as Shinobi, we can't let personal emotions cloud our judgment. But Sakura interjected, Hinata's not wrong. Sakura? Sakura thought, Naruto, if you've lost your way, I'll bring you back myself. Rock Lee exclaimed, there's no other way. Youth means charging forward. Kiba Inuzuka churned in. Tracking someone is what we do best. Isn't that right, Akamaru? Woof woof. Akamaru barked in agreement. Neji finally relented. I don't believe Naruto would do such a thing either. Let's investigate. Shino added, count me in. If you must ask why, I was excluded from the mission to retrieve Sasuke. This time I won't be left out. Besides, I need answers about Takuma's death. Shikamaru sighed and stood. Troublesome. One after another, all of you including me. Hinata was deeply moved. Shino, Kiba, everyone, thank you. And so, as the clouds of conflict gathered, the 5 Kage Summit began as scheduled. Chapter 5, The 5 Kage Summit. The Land of Iron, the nation of samurai, was located near the lands of earth and lightning, bordering the lands of fire, waterfall, and fields. Its climate was perpetually cold, with heavy snow covering the land year-round. Due to its historical neutrality in the conflicts of the ninja world, it had avoided the ravages of war and became the ideal location for hosting the 5 Kage Summit. At this moment, near the border of the Land of Fire, Team Taka was racing at full speed, about to enter the land of iron. Karen suddenly frowned. There's an unknown chakra ahead. Sasuke and the others halted, immediately on guard. Whoosh! Countless butterflies appeared, gathering mid-air to form the graceful figure of Konan. Her expression was cold and detached. This path is closed. Sasuke frowned. That cloak you're with Akatsuki. Suigetsu turned to the white Zetsu leading them. One of your comrades? The white Zetsu shouted. Konan, you betrayed Akatsuki. Why are you here? Konan replied calmly. Akatsuki was founded by Yahiko in Amigakure. It was merely stolen by you. I can call myself Akatsuki anytime, anywhere. White Zetsu growled. Damn it, I didn't expect her to interfere, Sasuke said coldly. If she's not one of your allies, then I have no problem taking her down. White Zetsu responded. Ah, by all means, clean up the traitor for us. I'd be delighted. Sasuke gripped his sword and stepped forward. His Sharingan spun, evolving into the Mangekyo Sharingan with a faint sound. His gaze was icy. Don't get in my way. Konan's response was a rain of paper spears, rolled from countless sheets of paper. Scatter. Turn Taka dispersed. Asterisk clang. 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 Asterisk. Sasuke swung his Kusanagi sword, deflecting the oncoming paper spears. But Konan's technique was vast in range, long-lasting, and surprisingly powerful. While intercepting the attacks, Sasuke's left eye locked onto Konan's figure in the sky. A line of blood trickled from the corner of his eye, staining the snow below a stark contrast against the white ground. Bloodshot veins spread like a web across his pupil. Asterisk Amaterasu. Asterisk. Whoosh! The black flames of Amaterasu ignited Konan's paper body, ending the rain of paper spears. Unquenchable black flames. Amaterasu. The same power as Itachi's eyes, Konan murmured as her body burned to ashes. However, as paper fragments scattered through the air, more versions of Konan appeared. Yugo muttered, just now. Was that only a clone? Sasuke demanded coldly. Karen, can you locate her real body? Karen formed a two-finger hand sign, enhancing her sensory ability through her Kagura mind's eye. After a moment, she shook her head. All the chakra signatures are identical. White Zetsu groaned. That woman's abilities are incredibly troublesome. Sasuke, you should conserve your chakra before fighting the 5 Kage. Sasuke, impatient, snapped. It doesn't matter. Burn them all. Asterisk whoosh. 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 Asterisk. Black flames erupted in the air, indiscriminately attacking Konan's clones. Karen worried silently. Since learning that Danzo became Hokage, Sasuke's chakra has changed. So cold now, on the towering snow-capped mountains, the 5 Kage summit was proceeding as scheduled. The venue was adorned with the flags of the 5 great nations: wind, fire, earth, lightning, and water. Around the massive circular table oriented east to west, the 5 Kage were all present. The 4th Reikage, A. The 5th Mizukage, Mei Terumi. The 3rd Tsuchikage, Anoki of both scales. The 5th Kazekage, Gara of the sand. The 6th Hokage, Danzo Shimura. The Kage's bodyguards stood behind the curtains, closely monitoring the proceedings and ready to intervene at any moment. In the center sat Mifune, the general of the Land of Iron and the host of the summit. Behind him stood 2 renowned samurai, Chojuro and Rikaku, both famed warriors with strength comparable to elite jonin. But in truth, these 2 were none other than Naruto and Orochimaru in disguise. Naruto, I didn't expect you to know the Land of Iron's layout so well. We infiltrated without any trouble. Of course, in his previous life, Naruto had served as the head of the 5 Kage and had organized multiple summits. He had also visited the Land of Iron at Mifune's invitation. In a stable nation like the Land of Iron, fortresses rarely changed. The 3 of them had devised their plan on the way. Naruto explained, Danzo's right eye is from Shursui Uchiha and contains the Kodo Amitsukami. That genjutsu is extremely dangerous, even for me. Unless I can kill Danzo before he activates Kodo Amitsukami, a decisive victory is nearly impossible. Therefore, the basic strategy is to exhaust Danzo's use of Kodo Amitsukami before engaging in battle. Orochimaru asked, and how do we exhaust it? Naruto replied, if I'm not mistaken, Danzo will likely use this technique on Mifune during the summit to gain the upper hand. It's not a jutsu that can be used multiple times in a day. With the Rinnegan, Naruto could theoretically resist Mangekyo Genjutsu, but he decided to err on the side of caution. Konan asked, so, does that mean we ambush him after the summit? On his way back to the village? Naruto shook his head. That would be too late. We're not the only ones targeting Danzo. If we encounter others, it could complicate things. I'll infiltrate the venue with Orochimaru, blending in as samurai maintaining order. We'll keep a close watch on Danzo's movements. To be honest, transformation jutsu is my specialty. As for Sasuke, Konan, I'll need you to stall them. But remember, don't engage in a prolonged fight. Back to the present. Mifune announced in a deep voice, the 5 Kage summit begins now. Gaara rested his hands under his chin and addressed the other 4 Kage. I'll speak first. Listen carefully. Inoki chuckled. The 5 Kage certainly have changed. To become a Kage at your age? Impressive. It seems your father taught you well, though not manners. Damn that old man. Behind the curtain, Kankuro, one of Gaara's bodyguards, clenched his teeth in anger. Gaara responded calmly. Indeed, that's why I sit here as Kazekage. Ha 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 ha. Inoki laughed. What an arrogant young man. What's with that Tsuchikage? Kankuro, hot-headed as ever, was itching to storm out and confront him. Be quiet. Temari, the more level-headed of the two, cautioned him. Despite her words, her hand moved to her weapon pouch, ready to act if necessary. Tsuchikage, please refrain from interrupting. Mei Terumi, the Mizukage, interjected diplomatically. Kazekage, please continue. Gaara said, I was once a Jinchuriki, captured by Akatsuki. I believe Akatsuki poses a grave threat. I've repeatedly requested action from the 5 Kage, but my pleas were ignored, except by the previous Hokage. And now, with the Jinchuriki of each nation taken, it's too late to join forces. Inoki offered his perspective. For the great nations to lose their Jinchuriki is a disgrace, a humiliation that undermines their authority. Seeking help from other nations immediately after such a loss would be unthinkable. Gaara scoffed. Tradition? Authority? Such outdated notions are meaningless. Inoki thought to himself, the arrogance of youth. Mei Terumi added, whether outdated or not, as Mizukage, I admit we've been too passive. But even if the tailed beasts are taken, they don't immediately become a threat. Controlling them requires knowledge, skill, and time. Inoki agreed. A Jinchuriki must grow alongside their tailed beast, forming a bond over time. Even then, control is difficult. But I digress. Isn't that right, Kazekage? Gaara remained silent. At that moment, Danzo spoke, his tone measured. Before we continue debating, there's something I'd like to address. The Raikage roared. What's the meaning of this? Danzo replied. The leader of the Akatsuki is very likely Uchiha Madara. What? The 4 Kage exclaimed in unison. Inoki muttered with disbelief. That guy. Didn't he die a long time ago? Danzo said. The details are unclear, but the intelligence is accurate. Inoki frowned. I can't believe it. Madara is still alive. At this moment, Mifune, the leader of the neutral land of Iron, spoke up. As a neutral party, I would like to say something. The leader of the Akatsuki is well versed in exploiting the development of the times. He has used the mistrust among nations to expand his influence during this period of relative peace. However, every crisis comes with an opportunity. The fact that the 5 Kage have gathered here today is a blessing. I propose forming a united ninja army to counter the threat of the Akatsuki. Inoki responded, a united ninja army? That's not something that can be decided so easily. The 5 great shinobi villages are evenly matched in power. Who would lead such an army? Mifune said. Currently, the only remaining Jinchuriki is the Nine-Tails of Konoha. How we guide him is of utmost importance. The Kage fell silent. Mifune continued. In that case, why not let the Hokage command the united ninja army? His words sent shockwaves through the room. After all, outside of Konoha, no one was yet aware of Naruto's defection. What did you say? The Raikage reacted the most violently. Danzo, unfazed, said, if there are no objections, then I humbly accept this responsibility. The Raikage shouted. Why should it be the Hokage? He represents the darkness of the shinobi world. How can we entrust such a person with this responsibility? Mifune glanced at the Raikage and asked, then, Lord Raikage, who do you believe should take the lead? The Raikage roared. No one from our village has joined the Akatsuki. Those who are untrustworthy cannot bear such a heavy burden. I am the most suitable candidate. Library, Mifune replied calmly. That would be difficult to convince others. The Raikage growled. What did you say? Mifune pointed at the shattered table in front of the Raikage and reasoned. Is this the kind of method and power you would use to lead the ninja? Do you think it's appropriate? If decisions are made impulsively and power is prioritized above all, the United Army will end up like this table shattered into pieces. Crack, crack, crack. The Raikage clenched his teeth in frustration, knowing he had been outmaneuvered. Mifune withdrew his gaze and said calmly, "Of course, this is just an objective evaluation from an outsider. Lord Kazekage is too young to command respect. Moreover, as the Kazekage, he already has enough responsibilities on his shoulders. Lord Tsuchikage, on the other hand, is advanced in age, lacking vitality. Furthermore, his inclination to use the Akatsuki makes him difficult to trust. As for Lady Mizukage, the Akatsuki originated from Kirigakure. The issue of intelligence leaks is concerning, not to mention the matter of spies. Although we still don't understand why the Akatsuki is collecting tailed beasts, we cannot allow the Ninetails to fall into their hands under any circumstances. And since the Ninetails belongs to Konoha, we believe that having the Hokage lead is the safest option." Mifune's argument was well-reasoned, leaving the Raikage aware that his hopes of becoming the commander were dashed. He bellowed, "I came here to showcase the strength of Kumogakure. As for this united ninja army, it has nothing to do with me." Ao, one of the Mizukage's guards, who had a sharp mind, noticed something suspicious. "There's something off. This situation needs to be verified. Chojuro, prepare for combat." "Ha!" The young and inexperienced Chojuro was momentarily confused but still gripped his sword, Hiramakarei, tightly. Zzz. Ao formed a hand seal with 2 fingers, and the veins around his right eye, covered by a black-sealed eye patch, became visible. Byakugan. Through the Byakugan, Ao could clearly see the chakra flow around Danzo's right eye. He was shocked internally. How can this be? The chakra color around his right eye and its surrounding pathways. There's no mistaking it. It's Uchiha Shirsue's chakra, that formidable enemy I once faced. I could never forget that chakra. Swish. Ao landed behind Mei Terumi and addressed Danzo. "Lord Hokage, could you let us see your bandaged right eye?" The 4 Kage were stunned. Danzo remained silent. Inoki asked, "What's going on?" Ao accused Danzo. "That right eye, it must have been transplanted from Uchiha Shirsue. Shirsue's dojutsu allows him to enter someone's mind and manipulate their thoughts without them even realizing it. It is the most powerful genjutsu." The Raikage caught on. "Hokage, don't tell me you've been manipulating Mifune." Mifune was startled. "What?" Ao explained. "This right eye of mine was a trophy from a battle with the Hyuga clan, so I won't criticize others for using such means. However, the genjutsu on Lord Mifune has already been dispelled. Furthermore," Ao suddenly turned his gaze behind Mifune. "You too. Reveal your true forms." Everyone turned their attention to Chukiai and Rikyaku standing there. The tall samurai Rikyaku, who was actually Orochimaru in disguise, thought to himself, "Heh, so I've been discovered. After all, who would have expected this?" Naruto-kun, one of the Mizukage's guards, possesses the Byakugan. The one-eyed samurai Chukiai, disguised as Naruto, remained expressionless. This was a distant memory. Naruto had only heard about this meeting from others and couldn't possibly know every detail. But the objective had been achieved, the depletion of Danzo's Kodo Amitsukami. Poof! The transformation jutsu was dispelled. Naruto, wearing a mask, and Orochimaru revealed themselves to everyone. Clang! Without hesitation, Mifune drew his sword and struck. Naruto unsheathed the blade at his waist, blocking Mifune's swift attack. Naruto smirked, as expected of the samurai leader. Such impressive swordsmanship. Mifune demanded, "Where are Chukiai and Rikyaku?" "Who knows?" Naruto replied nonchalantly. He pushed Mifune's blade aside with his left hand and reached for his ninja pouch with his right. Mifune's eyes narrowed as he retreated, sword at the ready. Naruto pulled out a ninja smoke bomb from his pouch and smashed it on the ground. Boom! 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 Amidst the smoke, the sound of fists and feet clashing echoed. Then, with a loud crash, the wall shattered. Danzo clutched his shoulder and fled, followed closely by Fu and Toryun. Naruto and Orochimaru were about to give chase when Ao blocked their path. "Even if you're wearing a mask, your chakra cannot be hidden. You're the Ninetails Jinchuriki from Konoha, aren't you? And you're Orochimaru, one of the Sannin, a dangerous figure rumored to have died. Yet here you are, alive and with the Jinchuriki." "Heh." Orochimaru chuckled seductively. Naruto thought to himself, "Ao of Kirigakure, Although I haven't interacted with him much, I can see now that he's a sharp ninja. I can understand why he was recruited by the Kara organization after surviving the 4th Shinobi World War. At this moment, the Raikage roared, "Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, so you're Uzumaki Naruto. Tell me, do you know where Uchiha Sasuke is?" Naruto replied, "I do," the Raikage demanded. "Where is he?" Naruto smirked. "I'm not telling you. What did you say?" Raikage's fury erupted instantly at Naruto's attitude. Crackle, lightning armor burst to life around his body. Heavy stream break, he charged straight at Naruto's face. So fast. Naruto marveled, already bracing himself for impact. Whoosh, but suddenly, sand intercepted Raikage's path. It was Gaara's doing. Raikage turned back angrily. "Kazekage brat, you owe me an explanation." Raikage's guards, Darui and C, prepared to strike. Kazekage's guards, Tamari and Kankuro, also readied their giant fan and puppets, standing in formation. In this tense standoff, Gaara slowly stood up. "He's my friend. Can you let me ask him one question first?" Raikage snorted coldly. "Humph. Make it quick, or I'll take you down with him." "Gaara." Naruto looked at Gaara with a complicated expression. He hadn't told Orochimaru about his roundabout reasoning, not just because of his fear of Danzo's Kotoeme Tsukumi, but also because of the bonds he once shared with someone in this room. A boy once alone in the desert, burdened with the same fate. A demon who only loved himself, had learned to love others. Who? Gaara took a deep breath to calm himself. Seeing Naruto here had almost made him doubt his own eyes, but he still believed in Naruto, convinced that he must have an unavoidable reason for his actions. Gaara stared at Naruto. "Naruto, I only have one question. Are those 2 samurai still alive?" Mifune, the samurai leader, tightened his grip on his sword slightly. The safety of his subordinates was his utmost concern. Naruto's gaze was steady. "Of course, I would never harm the innocent." Gaara's tense lips relaxed, and a faint smile appeared. "All right, I've asked my question. Do what you need to do. I trust that you have your reasons." "Thank you." Naruto clenched his fists. The gratitude in his heart was beyond words. Raikage scoffed. "Kazekage, are you kidding me? Such childish words, are those what a ninja should say?" Gaara replied firmly, "Childish or not, if you attack Naruto again, you'll have to face me. I'll fight you to the end." Raikage roared. "Fine, I'll kill you first, then the Nine-Tails." "Tisich, these young people are so troublesome." Inoki, the Tsuchikage, floated into the air. His old eyes, though dim, were still sharp. In the current ninja world, the Nine-Tails was the only one Akatsuki hadn't captured. Eliminating the Jinchuriki here would not only thwart Akatsuki's plans but also weaken Konoha's power. "Young man, blame yourself for taking such an ambiguous stance, giving this old man a legitimate reason to deal with you openly." Zzz. As he thought, a transparent white cube formed between Inoki's hands, aimed directly at Naruto below. Dust release, detachment of the primitive world technique. Gaara shouted urgently, "Naruto, watch out!" "Too late. No one survives my dust release," Inoki declared. Whoosh, the dust release beam, capable of disintegrating anything into molecules, shot downward at an angle. Naruto calmly raised his left hand, and the beam vanished instantly. Inoki was stunned. "What?" Akatsuchi was equally shocked. "He neutralized the old man's dust release? How?" Kuratsuchi's eyes sparkled. "Amazing!" Naruto looked up, murmuring, "The Tsuchikage's dust release is as troublesome as ever." The Mizukage, Mei Terumi, the only one who had yet to act, observed with her enchanting eyes. Naruto Uzumaki. His actions and motives remain unclear. For now, I won't interfere with him. But Orochimaru, once a member of Akatsuki, cannot be allowed to go free. Swoosh. With that thought, Mei formed hand seals, her crimson lips parting to unleash a highly corrosive liquid towards Orochimaru. Lava release. Lava monster technique. Splash. The lava poured down, corroding the ground into a smoky mess. Dozens of protective gray snakes dissolved and fell from Orochimaru's body, revealing his tattered clothing. Orochimaru remarked, "The bloodline limit of lava release. Truly troublesome." Mei's eyes turned cold. "Chojuro, yes, even though he's one of the legendary Sannin. I'll do my best." Though Chojuro's voice trembled, his grip on his sword was firm. As he infused it with a massive amount of chakra, Hiramakerii grew to an enormous size. He swung it with all his might. Hiramakerii unleashed. Boom! Ugh! Orochimaru was struck squarely by Hiramakari, crashing through the wall and into the hallway. Tap, tap, tap. Mei quickly pursued him. When Orochimaru got up, he found the collapsed wall sealed off by Mei's lava release. The area had become a sealed chamber. Mei's phoenix-like eyes glinted with authority. Orochimaru, it said that you've conducted many dangerous experiments and colluded with Akatsuki. Your existence is a threat to the ninja world. Eliminating that threat is the duty of a Kage. She formed another seal, and scorching acidic mist spewed from her lips. Boil release. Skilled mist technique. Whoosh! As the mist's concentration increased, the air in the chamber grew hazy. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Orochimaru's skin began to show signs of melting. His vertical pupils gleamed. Lava release and boil release 2 bloodline limits. Though you're young, you surpass the potential of the previous Mizukage, Yagura. Would you be interested in becoming one of my test subjects? Mei retorted, don't be ridiculous. Just dissolve here obediently. I'm not joking. Swoosh. Orochimaru's neck suddenly extended towards Mei in a bizarre manner. Ha! Mei gasped, retreating quickly. But the confined space left little room to evade. Orochimaru's neck coiled around her torso several times before sinking its fangs into her neck. Whoosh! Orochimaru's neck retracted. Ugh! Mei collapsed weakly. That's a curse mark to restrict movement. But the mist's concentration is at its maximum. Your body will melt. Not necessarily. The heavily injured Orochimaru chuckled seductively before opening his mouth wide, regurgitating a brand new version of himself and rising amidst the gooey mess. Mei's eyes trembled. How is this possible? Your techniques aren't strong enough to kill me. Among the current 5 Kage, the only one truly capable of threatening my life is Tsuchika Jinoki's dust release. Swoosh! Naruto suddenly appeared in the sealed chamber, placing a hand on Orochimaru's shoulder. We have more important matters to attend to. Orochimaru. Swoosh! He teleported away with Orochimaru. The flying Raijin Jutsu. He must have marked Danzo back then. Mei's eyes narrowed. Her weakened state made it impossible to control her chakra precisely, causing the lava release sealing the wall to dissolve. Damn! The acidic mist is leaking into the conference hall. I have to adjust the concentration. The confrontations during the 5 Kage summit came to a temporary halt. Naruto was about to face Danzo in battle. In the snowy plains of the Land of Iron, Naruto and Orochimaru appeared before Danzo and his entourage. Unlike the bridge that served as the battlefield years ago, though they had similarly escaped from the 5 Kage summit, Naruto used the flying Raijin Jutsu to arrive here. This time, Danzo had yet to leave the Land of Iron. Danzo, deep in thought, glanced at his shoulder out of the corner of his eye. The flying Raijin Jutsu mark. He deliberately waited until I left the summit to strike, avoiding dragging the other Kage into this. Orochimaru greeted him with a sly tone. Danzo, long time no see. How is that right arm treating you? Ignoring Orochimaru's taunt, Danzo released his grip on his cane and began unwrapping the bandages on his right arm, revealing a finely crafted arm guard. Fu Toryun, buy me some time. I need to undo the seal on my right arm. Understood. Fu and Toryun stepped forward. Naruto has taken Nagato's body. He must have gained the power of the Rinnegan. Be cautious, Danzo instructed as he unclasped the first latch on his arm guard. As Fu and Toryun approached, Naruto's expression remained indifferent beneath his mask. My target is Danzo alone. If you insist on standing in my way, I won't hold back. Aburame Toryun stood firm, his voice resolute. If you want to get to Lord Danzo, you'll have to step over our corpses first. Naruto replied. That's unfortunate. Fu thought to himself. The Ninetales' life is crucial for Lord Danzo's future plans. I must capture him alive if possible. With that thought, he formed a peculiar hand sign, aiming it at Naruto from a distance. Naruto's gaze sharpened. That hand sign, Fu declared. This technique is unavoidable. Mind-body switch technique. Buzz. Naruto's body trembled as Fu's consciousness entered him. I'll destroy your left eye. Due to the connection of the mind-body switch, my own left eye will also be destroyed. But this sacrifice is worth it. Controlling Naruto's body, Fu drew a kunai and aimed it at Naruto's left eye. Clink. But the kunai's tip suddenly stopped just short of his eye, unable to move any further. A few seconds later, Fu opened his eyes and sighed. I failed. The Jinchuriki's willpower is extraordinarily strong. My mind-body switch was broken in just 3 seconds. Beside him, Aburame Toryun said, Then I'll use my technique to deal with him. He removed his black shirt, revealing dark purple venom flowing across his torso, and charged straight at Naruto. Orochimaru warned, he's the son of Aburame Shikuro. He can use nanoscale poisonous insects. Without the first Hokage cells, even a single touch means certain death. Be careful, Naruto-kun. Ah, I understand. Naruto's left eye beneath the mask suddenly focused. Shinra Tensei, boom, what? The sudden burst of repulsive force sent Toryun flying backward. He tumbled to the ground, landing face down. Fu exclaimed, what was that just now? Was it the Rinnegan's power? Toryun struggled to get up. Ugh. My whole body feels like it's falling apart. If I take 2 or 3 more hits like that, I'll probably die. At this moment, Naruto took out a pair of black gloves, put them on his left hand, and reached out toward Toryun from a distance. Bansho Tenin, whoosh! The gravitational pull dragged Toryun toward him from afar. Toryun shouted, this time it's gravitational force. Clang. Suddenly, Fu rushed forward, grabbing Toryun's shoulder while throwing a chain behind him, which wrapped around a tree in the background. Clink. The chain tightened, freezing both of them in place. Rustle, rustle. However, the dark purple venom began spreading from Toryun's shoulder to Fu's arm. Toryun yelled in panic, Fu! Let go of me. You'll be infected by the poisonous insects. Naruto watched the scene coldly, then intensified the gravitational pull from his palm. Whoosh! Fu could no longer hold on, and Toryun was pulled forward. Naruto pressed his gloved left hand against Toryun's chest and yanked forcefully. Human path. Whoosh! Toryun's soul was forcibly extracted, and his lifeless body collapsed at Naruto's feet. Naraka path. Boom! A ghostly purple flame ignited, manifesting as the King of Hell statue. It devoured both Toryun's body and soul before disappearing. Naruto removed the glove and tossed it aside, addressing the stunned Fu. Do you want to join him in there? Fu glanced back at Danzo, who was still calmly undoing the latches on his arm guard. His subordinates' lives were merely tools to buy him time. Fu turned back, his face set with determination. From the day I joined Root, my life has belonged to Lord Danzo. Clang. He severed his insect-infected arm with his blade. Knowing his death was inevitable, he didn't even bother to bandage the wound. Grabbing his sword, he charged at Naruto. Boom! Another burst of repulsive force sent Fu sprawling to the ground, his sword flying from his grasp. Thud! A black rod pierced cleanly through his heart. Fu died instantly without any pain. Naruto murmured, even as members of Root, symbols of darkness, you couldn't escape the essence of being a ninja. Fu Yamanaka, Aburame Toryun, I will remember your names. Thanks to the time bought by his loyal subordinates, Danzo finally undid the seal on his right arm. 10 Sharingan eyes spun erratically, exuding an unsettling aura.